devil may care, and I am just a devil with love to spare. So viva Las Vegas, viva Las Vegas. How I wish that there were more than 24 hours in the day. Even if there were 40 more, I wouldn't sleep a minute away. Oh, there's blackjack and poker and the roulette wheel, a fortune won and lost on every deal. All you need is a strong heart and a nerve of steel. Viva Las Vegas, viva Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas with your neon flash.
I know I said to the radio god, send me an angel. Oh, I'm going to play that afterwards by, the one-hit wonder. Send me an angel.
Send me an angel.
I have it. And I asked and I get an angel. I get Angel Martinez with me here. As we continue to broadcast live here in Las Vegas, as the king just said. Not Tony, the other king, the first king. Yeah. Tony's the other king of Radio Row. But how are yous? How yous all doing today? We are here live at the Mandalay Bay Convention Center as we continue Super Bowl LVIII, that's 58. In case you're keeping track at home, here in Las Vegas on the Tony Bruno Sports Network. I am Pete Sheppard. Angel Martinez and Miss Robin are in the house as well. You got us, at least for the first 4 hours today before LFG will take over at 10 o'clock. But great show, great stuff lined up for you today. Jake Plummer's supposed to join us right away at 6:15, which I'm stunned to get an NFL player or anybody for that matter that's not broadcasting in here at 6:15. Hopefully he'll be here. Field Yates he'll be coming by for his weekly visit. My good friends, and we're going to have a lot of other guests too. Bruno from Naples Wealth Planning and CEO Rick Calhoun from his company from Naples are going to drop by as well. Angel's in the house. Miss Robin's in the house. We have an interesting, I don't know if I'm going to call it toilet gate, but Robin brought up something very, very, very interesting. Nick Saban's going to join ESPN. I got some Nickelodeon news for you kiddies out there that's going to be interesting with SpongeBob. Kevin Harlan and Olivia Harlan Decker are going to both be broadcasting the Super Bowl. Kevin on Westwood One, as he's done for years, and his daughter on Sky. And so much more. Whoever's popping in, I don't know what our schedule is going to be, the rest of it, but I do know it'll be Jake Plummer early, Field Yates from ESPN, and us. Angel, good morning. Miss Robin, good morning. How are you
doing? Morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah.
I heard Miss Robin got about 16 hours worth of sleep in about 5 hours.
Jesus, Mary Joseph.
I got a full, blissful 7 hours of sleep.
Now, how did you do that?
We meet from here.
Naturally, too, yeah. Right? You didn't
I
didn't get fifth of tequila and then pass out.
I did take some Tylenol PM. That did help a little bit. But Tony actually is getting more. He should be down here shortly. I predict it. I predict when he arrives.
Can I predict what he's going to say?
Okay.
Robin, why don't you wake me up? Why don't you wake me up?
And then it's going to be followed by... I didn't even hear you leave. I guarantee it.
They say the rain, the pitter-patter of the rain. Again, it's raining here in Vegas. Maybe it's stopped now. But what shitty weather we have. Not that I care, because I'm not walking outside. You guys have walked outside more than I have. I'm not going outside. I don't really have to. But, geez, this is weird. It's really been
I don't think gloomy. I've ever, in all the years of traveling. We used to travel to Vegas all the time.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been here when it's rained. Ever.
I was here last February, the end of February, for 5 days. Beautiful. It was, not warm, but 50s and sunny every day. Every other time, I don't ever remember being here. I was here in 2010, played in the World Series of Poker main event. And I remember going in the pool. That was in June. But I've been here now. This is 6 times I've been to Vegas. I have never seen it rain except this week.
Yeah. I take it back. Yeah. Actually, I was here one time when it was raining, but it wasn't raining rain. It was raining.
Raining men?
No. It wasn't raining rain. It was raining locusts. They had a big locust storm.
About that. Did you think the apocalypse was going to happen?
Seriously, it was creepy because they were everywhere. And stores were like sweeping them. They were so prolific. They would fly into stores and they were sweeping them out. It was weird.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, I can't remember the last time I slept 7 hours straight because usually I get like 5. If I can get 5 hours, and it's never continuous, I wake up like every 3 hours, sometimes every hour on the hour.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
That's not healthy.
But I don't feel tired. I mean, I've been in bed at 9 o'clock mostly every night, the Vegas time.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, but I don't feel tired. I don't feel worn down. I feel like I'm just right. Sometimes at the end of the show, my voice goes and stuff like that. But overall, pretty happy, except for the lack of food and water that's not supplied in this stupid, ridiculous thing. Thanks, NFL. It's funny. You brought up a great point because over there is where next year it's going to be Radio Row is in New Orleans, and they are taking notes, and they are taking copious notes about how messed up some of the things are over here, and make sure it doesn't happen over there next year.
So for those of you who are new to the Radio Row thing, this is what they do. They have Radio Row, and the next 2 years host cities are always present, letting people know what's going to be happening, and then they take notes for stuff like New Orleans is. They're hearing the complaint from everybody.
And people are going to think, oh, you spoiled media pricks. You know, you're getting all the. It's basic. I mean, I really don't. The food, that doesn't bother me, even though most of the time you had, sandwiches. We're not talking about anything fancy. We're talking about basic stuff. But the fact that they don't have water available, and down in the media room, it's borderline illegal to me, to be honest with you.
They should have to provide water. So, I mean, especially in an arid climate like this, a lot of people don't realize that they need to be hydrating constantly. It's dangerous. And so I had to, Angel, the first day.
I know, I said
got a huge case of water for our hotel room because they're not providing any water in hotel rooms anymore. Well, I schlepped the entire case with me this morning so that everybody would have water down here.
Absolutely amazing. I took one from my room and filled it up. There's a little water area in a place where I don't think you're supposed to do it, but I did it anyway because the only place you can get water.
Yeah, but everybody's going to do the same thing because even last night when we were walking out of here down in the media center, those gallon jug things.
That's it. Were they empty?
Yeah, because people were doing the same thing. You were just watching people put inside their bottles because what else are you going to end up doing? But the other thing that's kind of surprising, minus the food, is that last night we took a walk down the strip. So in Tampa, when the Super Bowl was there, you couldn't miss it because from Clearwater Beach all the way down to Tampa Bay, it was just signs everywhere, welcome you to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Here, literally there's nothing. The only thing you see is you made it.
I did not.
But on the overhead, the pedestrian walkway bridges, that's the only thing you see decorated.
It is surprising. I mean, they're treating this just like another one of a million events that are happening here in Vegas rather than it being something special, which surprised me. This is their very first
And in Vegas, Robin,
Super Bowl.
I would expect this could be, if I was running it here in Vegas, this would be my theme.
Hey, everybody, we're all going to get laid.
Woohoo!
Now, that would be an attraction.
Yes, it would be. I mean, the reason why this place is this is at least twice as big as the Radio Row has been in years. And it's because it's in Vegas, and Vegas is like,
That's what it seems like.
You wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know. I mean, because the size, it's a big room in some warehouse in Idaho.
Right. Yeah.
It's crazy. I'm trying to find my song for you when we come back from break at 6:30. Send me an email. I know I have it here somewhere. But
I can find it. Here, let me find it for you. I can do it for you.
No, but it aggravates me when I don't know where stuff is on my own system here. Like I said, I've been very good. I write a lot of stuff down on my little cue cards. That's very good. Anyway, I'll find. Anyway, the number, as always, to call or text, 352-234-8669. Enough of us bitching about what is going on. We'll bitch about the NBA, the NHL, college basketball, some good news, some good storylines. Nick Saban joining ESPN. Not really surprised. My wife just texted me about that. What I just said about, hey, we're all going to get laid. She said, only if I'm there. Well, I'm not speaking for myself. I'm concerned about other people.
Absolutely. And it's good to clarify these things for our special people.
We all have a special someone. I finally met Angel's fiance, Debbie. She's Debbie or Deborah?
Debbie.
Debbie.
Yeah.
She's lovely.
She's very lovely. She's very sweet.
Yes,
she's very sweet.
And very patient. She hung out for you. I kept telling Angel, I'm like, why don't you and Debbie go walk around, go out, she just got here. You haven't seen her in several days. And then I think you were gone for maybe 30 minutes, came right back.
It's that mindset, because you have to. I don't like to leave anybody high and dry, so I wouldn't have come back. Yeah. We're on the other side here, the NFL experience, and she was like, "What else you want to do?" I got to get back. I got to get back, make sure everybody's fine. And she was like, "Okay, I understand." So that's what you do.
Wow, that's great. Oh, there it is. I got it afterwards. Yeah, real life. Send me an angel. That's the one here. You remember that song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good song.
Creepy video. I mean, you go back and look at all the 80s videos and stuff on MTV when it first came out. There's some bad videos. The Journey has the worst ones. They're terrible.
Yep.
Oh, God. Worlds Apart. That's one of the worst videos ever made. Like Steve Perry wants to kill himself.
But you do have. It's funny. I guess. See, this generation, Pete, it's the only thing that there's a disconnect. Because even though we had crappy videos, we also had some really good videos.
Yes.
Tony Katane, she had to be probably the best video ever out of our era, and it's stuff that people won't be able to see because they don't get it.
No, they don't get it. You got to YouTube it. 352-234-8669. Let's do a quick rundown of what happened last night in sports in case you missed it. Let's start with the NBA. Toronto beat Charlotte 123-117. Who gives a shit? Nobody cares. Cleveland over Washington 114-104. The Cavaliers are now 15-1, and Donovan Mitchell continues to kick ass.
Outscored the Cavaliers 36-23. Mitchell going to the cup, and he was fouled and one.
Another Mitchell highlight.
And the Wizards retake the lead by 1. 3 seconds to go. Mitchell trying to close out the third and scores. Donovan Mitchell comes in, and with 5.4 seconds left, puts the Cavaliers back up 1. He's got 26 points.
Cleveland 114, Washington 104, but the Wizards cover. Ask me how I know that. Meanwhile, Philadelphia gets spanked at home by Golden State 127-104. Watched a lot of this game last night. Here's Steph Curry.
Maxey tries again. Reed chips it, but right to Curry. Ahead to Kuminga for the easy slam. Gorgeous pass from Curry.
Thanks to ESPN for that call earlier. The other call in the Cleveland-Washington game, thanks to Monumental Sports Network there. My Celtics over the Atlanta Hawks last night, 125-117. They didn't cover either. My good friend Mike Gorman, not great, but here's a Porzingis slam.
10 ties and 12 lead changes in this game.
Yeah. Anyway, Mike Gorman with the call on there. If you have to have some erotic image, kaleidoscope of erotic images to picture the dunk for Porzingis, but he's a beast. Miami over San Antonio 116-104. They did cover last night. Victor Wembanyama, though, a couple of highlights from him.
Rebound, and Jones brings it back. Wemby, one away from another double-double. And drops home another three.
Thanks to Bally Sports there, but a losing effort. 116-104, Miami wins. Clippers lose to New Orleans 117-106. James Harden, though, and that's a 3 from deep.
Who's only one of 3 guys to have 25,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, and 10,000 assists, would say that to me, then we got to give this a shot. And then the other guys, Harden, Kawhi, as Harden hits a 3 there.
Several months ago. But here, James Harden with this little step back. And look at the distance here from the logo. That right there, it doesn't matter. There's no...
Zion Williamson, also a pretty nifty move.
Pelicans looking for their 30th win of the season. Plumlee giving him that space. Williamson eats it up and got to the rim and one.
Mason's backing all the way up, and he's going to make it stand his ground a little too late. The left hand, that's one of those things that Zion Williamson, you don't talk about James Harden, him. When you have that left hand, it's a little bit different.
All right, New Orleans, that put up New Orleans up 95-84. They go on to win, as I said, 117-106 against the Clippers. Detroit beat Sacramento. Good call by A.J. Johnson last night. He had the Pistons plus 13. They win the game outright, 133 to 120. Meanwhile, in the NHL last night, quickly Minnesota over Chicago 2-1. Toronto nips Dallas 5-4. Stars winning streak comes to an end. Rangers over Tampa Bay 3-1. Significant in this game, Mikhail Sergachev sustained a scary leg injury in this one. He's going to be out a while. That stinks. College hoops last night. Auburn, number 12 ranked, the Tigers over Alabama. Why isn't Alabama? I know Auburn won. Didn't they? Yeah. 72-68. Michigan upsets number 11 Wisconsin. That's their second loss in a row, 72-68. My Providence College Friars last night, 91-87 overtime win against number 19 Creighton. Those of you know, Providence is like, I think now, 48 or 49-2 at home in their last 51 games dating back to last year. So there's your update of all top 25 college basketball, NHL, and the NBA from last night. A couple of interesting things going on before we get to, sound from yesterday and the players, as we said all week long. Both teams, Angel, 25 miles away, not allowed. This is like the Phantom Zone, from Superman. If they come here, they get sucked away for eternity, unless there's a nuclear explosion into space. Is that a good analogy?
Yeah, that's a great breakdown, actually. I get it. I understand it because they don't want him to be involved in anything down in the Strip. But the Strip was pretty empty anyway. So, I mean, if they have it, the only people that are going to bug them is maybe about 20 people that were out last night.
Have you guys noticed how I still think it's about a 5-to-1 ratio of Kansas City Chiefs fans here as opposed to 49er fans? If you made the same observation, at least in this area, Mandalay Bay, Luxor, Excalibur area, it seems that way.
Yeah,
lots of Chiefs fans.
How can they afford it, Pete? At this point, I mean, it seems like year after year after year now. I mean, at least back to back, for all we know. But even yesterday, over the NFL Experience right behind us here, I saw a ton of 49ers fans, but Kansas City fans definitely outruled Niners fans. Yeah,
they're getting a little cocky. I understand that because I went through it. Some of the fans in New England, if they didn't get to the Super Bowl, it was a sucky year. But you can't think that way. But the more you start winning like this, and become, quote unquote, a dynasty, you become very, very spoiled. Become very, very spoiled. All right, Jake Plummer's going to join us at 6:30. Miss Robin puts up our little list of guests coming up, at least initially. And there's always other people that come here. 352-234-8669. This is the official list. There's always unofficial. Let's see. So Jake Plummer at 6:30. Jake the Snake. Hopefully 10:30. Julie Souza, which Miss Robin's going to have to tell me what that's. That's at 10:30. Again, that's 10:30 of Vegas time.
Yeah.
So that would be on the LFG show.
Yep.
10:45, Andrew Snide, Executive Vice President of FanDuel. Philly Godfather at 11:30. Philly Godfather and Sons. Lee Steinberg's in the house at noontime. And then at 12:15, Brian Jones from the Pac-10 Network. I'd love to get his thoughts on their television contract and how he feels about it. You got to feel for the people that work there because I don't understand how some of the executives are thinking. I know the people on the air are got to be a little frustrated.
Just real quick, Julie Souza is the head of sports for Amazon Web Services.
Oh, really?
AWS.
Yeah, really, really interesting. All right.
Speaking of, can we get a hold of Jeff Bezos? So in case Elon Musk doesn't put us over for TBSN, we can get a hold of Jeff Bezos and we can start the sports network over there?
Yes, absolutely. All right, a couple of goofy things that have happened yesterday. Before we get into, the real serious, the meat and potatoes of the Chiefs and the 49ers, some good stuff yesterday. James Brown, breaking news. We have breaking news. Confirms that Phil Simms wears lady glasses.
There was one more question.
Yeah, we had one more question.
Yes, that reminded me of.
Okay.
Do you believe that Phil Simms wears lady glasses?
Or are they men's glasses?
No. I don't feel that he wears them. He does wear them. No question about it. Phil knows I would never speak ill of him. He's had Diana, right? Diana. He's had
him trimming his eyebrows.
No. He wears his wife's eyeglasses, but he is forever forgetful on everything. Oh, yes. Call Diana. He's got his own glasses now, but he's worn Diana's glasses. Absolutely.
I knew it.
Phil Simms didn't tell you that?
No, we identified them as lady glasses, and
you were all over it.
Yeah.
Call Diana. She'll tell you the truth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know he was wearing his wife's glasses. That's a whole thing now.
Al Dukes, if you look at the show this week and Phil's on the other side of the lectern, if you will, you'll know that he had a fit with me divulging this.
They're the lady glasses. There they are right there. Yep, there they are. Yeah, see? Man.
But he can pull it off, though.
Of course he can.
Phil was a boxer. You don't want to get him upset.
That's courtesy of WFAN yesterday, the morning show, Boomer Show in the morning. Great stuff. Better than almost as good as the other Randy Moss story, which was very hysterical yesterday. Meanwhile, Mad Dog torches Roger Goodell for defending the Peacock playoff, and I was taking my buddies Brian and Rick around yesterday, and I know I've known Chris for a long time. Try to. I didn't want to bother him in the middle of the show, but I heard him talking about it. He was doing his own show yesterday, and he was still talking about it. But here's how it sounded on ESPN.
Now, the answers that they give you, a younger audience, we have all sorts of surveys that indicate that they are going to streaming. And the Dolphin Chief game this year, the younger audience attendance was superb. So essentially, we almost have to go to streaming for our business model. Now, hold on. What are we, an idiot? I've got younger kids. They stream, but they're sports fans. You think they couldn't find a game on NBC, CBS, Fox, or our network if the game is there? Oh, come on. It's the football playoffs. They had 23 million for the Chief Dolphin game. The next night with the Lions against the Rams on NBC, 50. They had 38 million. So the idea that they're doing the young audience a tremendous service by showing a game in a postseason on streaming is a bunch of freaking nonsense. They did it because the NBC people gave them $110 million for the one stupid game. So all the owners, they split the $55 million and they make a fortune. They can stay at Divination. They can stay at the Wynn Hotel. They can have their commissioner parties. This is not about little Timmy Russo, little Colin Russo, little Kira Russo. This is about making money. And next year, another postseason game is on Peacock. And their answer is, well, our young fan, they stream. Nonsense! It's NFL playoff football. 110 million people are going to watch the Super Bowl, and it is not being streamed.
Well, I said basically all of that the week after that happened, that Monday coming back. I said the same thing. Once all the ratings came out, Angel, for all the games.
Right.
I mean, yeah, they can say, 23 million people streamed. Yeah, but 39 people were the other game, the Miami. And then there was almost, 45 for the Detroit, San Fran. So you can talk all you want, Roger Goodell, out your tuchus about some of this stuff. But you're full of it. You're full of it. You were paid by Peacock, plain and simple. Just say it. Just come out and say it. Otherwise, it's so transparent. It's so transparent. So, I don't stream. I mean, I have I have all that stuff, but I have the YouTube TV app. When I'm watching a game,
right?
The only thing I stream, I would never. If you have CBS, I'm not going to Paramount Plus. I have Paramount Plus. Why? I never go. Why would I off my YouTube TV? Why would I go off CBS to go to Paramount Plus? Why? Why would I do that to watch the same game when I can watch it on regular CBS? Nobody does that.
Nope, not at all. And it's just, again, I think a lot of the stuff that we keep hearing about the NFL is just to generate more revenue for themselves. I mean, come 2-3 years from now, are we going from the billion-dollar industry now to the trillion-dollar industry the way they're going?
When is enough enough? And I'm still convinced. And Roger Goodell the other day, and his secret press conference he had with media, the secret, invite only, which was embarrassing, I thought. It was a bad look for him. Had the press conference over at Allegiant Stadium with only a select few media was asked a question by Tracy Wolf about Super Bowl ever being on streaming. He's like, not on my watch. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
I don't either.
I think there's a chance within 10. No, I'm not going to say next year or anything like that. I think within 10 years, I would not be shocked if the Super Bowl is pay-per-view. Would not be shocked at all.
Well, it's like every event. I think we talked about it a couple of days too, Pete. And it seems like every little event that's going to happen from now on, they'll just figure, let's generate more revenue. Let's generate more. You take this floor here, the massive size it is. Oh, you guys want content to see what the place looks like? Pay $49.95. You'll be able to stream it all day long.
People should pay $50, Robin, to stream us. This is great behind-the-scenes stuff.
1,000%. You're not. If we were able to stream everything from the moment we get here to the moment we leave, the behind the scenes, the hilarity, the hijinks, the conversations that we normally don't have on air. Like, for example, let's give you a little taste of it.
Oh.
Let's give it a little taste of the conversation this morning.
Yeah, this morning Robin comes in, says good morning, and says, this is what it is. Angel brought me a coffee, which I've had 2 cups of coffee today, so I'm going to go freaking hickey-balookie. That's going to be nuts. I usually have 1 a day, and that's it. Maybe 1 in the afternoon. So Robin says hi. Angel comes in, blah, blah, blah. They all look, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, as they said, because I don't know if Angel got 7.5 hours sleep, but Robin did.
So feel fantastic.
She's bouncing in here like Tigger from Winnie the Pooh, and then she says, good morning, and then randomly just says, do guys do this? Then it was about 10-second pause, and I'm waiting. I went to the stall the other day in the bathroom, and women have this thing. All right, you do it. But.
So there's not a lot of women here. I mean, the ratio on Radio Row from men to women is probably 1 to 10.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah. So when you go to the women's restroom, there's 18 stalls approximately in there, and for the most part, it's empty. So I don't know but I've done this, and I've talked to other women. We all do this. If you're going into the same bathroom and there's multiple stalls, and you go to one stall and you like that stall and it's nice and clean, the next time you go in there, even if you have tons to choose from, you will go to that same stall. So then I went in there once, and somebody was in my stall.
What? You got to put a name tag on it.
And I was really upset because I had to use a different stall, and it just didn't feel right. And I was wondering, do men do that? Do you have
Well, you know what? When I walk in the bath, we're standing up. I have a hard time doing number 2 in public
places.
I hate it unless it's absolutely necessary.
I think
there's 2 Avenger powers that I have that are unbelievable. One is I can have like 7 or 8 drinks before I go to the bathroom, and I don't mean like holding it. It's just natural for me. Anybody who knows me always like, how do you do it? Like, and it's not one of those. Well, you break the seal, then you go in every 5 minutes.
Right.
I don't do that either. It's in my power. The other thing is, I don't have to. I'm not one of those people that every morning has to do that, because we all get mixed up with that and showering and shaving, and. I only do that in the privacy of my own home or a hotel. I have a really hard time doing it and I don't try to hold it in.
Yeah.
This is really disgusting. Not disgusting, but it's not. It's life.
Yeah.
And we talk about.
No, I know people that were
I hate
in
wiping the seats and everything. You got to do. I hate sitting down in public toilets. Hate it. Hate it.
Now, the only thing that I have is that.
See, ladies and gentlemen, this is what you would get with behind the scenes conversations.
That's right. The one thing that drives me bananas is for the men, and Ms. Robin, thankfully you guys don't have this problem. You have, in here, there must be like 15 stalls against the wall, right?
Yes.
So if you have to go number 1, if I'm at number 1 and there's 14, why do you have to come right next to number 2?
Well, I agree with that. I'm so with you on that. And I'm like, just like, it's like, once in a while you pull into Publix parking lot or wherever supermarket you are around the world, around the country, right? And it's early in the morning. They open up at 7. So it happens to me all the. I don't know. I pull into. There's nobody around. Empty. I pull into a spot, and what does some old geezer do? Come up and park right next to me. There's 8,000 spots available. Why are you parking next to me this early in the morning? I'm like, and they don't park well either.
Yeah.
It's like an angle, diagonal.
You mean like Tony?
I haven't had the privilege.
Don't
yet.
say that. I said that.
I haven't had the privilege of riding in your vehicle yet with you guys.
Tony is. He's not a good spatial parker.
Scott Zolak
I was
in the
going to
house.
say, I was worried it was going to be Tony and he was going to overhear this conversation because if he heard me say it,
Yeah.
he would not be happy with me.
Anyway. Scott Zolak in the house. All right, let's take a quick break because hopefully Jake Plummer is going to be coming by momentarily. Although I challenge that.
I will confirm with the fabulous Chris Visser, who is right here, who is,
great.
is the one handling him. But he's supposed to be here as long as Jake Plummer's PR person didn't screw it up again.
That's okay. We got plenty. Angel Martinez is in the house. The lovely Miss Robin is in the house. When we come back, we'll get to some preview sound from yesterday from the Kansas City Chiefs and San Fran, and also Tom Brady with thoughts on Bill Belichick on his Let's Go podcast. We'll play that next. When we come back, it's the special edition of the Pete Sheppard Show. It's on the Tony Bruno Sports Network. We're live 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Radio Row here at Mandalay Bay Convention Center. Angel Martinez here. Miss Ryan here. Later on, Tony Courts, Tony Bruno, Dave Benz, Jim Kozimor, Matt Fowler, A.J. Johnson, as we break down Super Bowl 58 here in Las Vegas. We're back right after this.
There's only one real place for total sports. That's the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
Just walk this way to the dawn of the light. The wind will blow into your face as the years pass you by. Hear this voice from deep inside. It's the call of your heart. Close your eyes and you will find passage out of the dark. Here I am. Will you send me an angel? Here I am. In the land of the morning star. Just find your place in the eye of the storm. Seek the roses along the way. Just beware of the thorns. Here I am. Will you send me an angel? Here I am. In the land of the morning star. Wise men said, just raise your hand and reach out for the spell. Find the door to the promised land. Just believe in yourself. Hear this voice from deep inside. It's the call of your heart. Close your eyes and you will find the way out of the dark. Here I am. Will you send me an angel? Here I am. In the land of the morning star. Here I am. Will you send me an angel? Here I am.
Now back to the biggest sports network on the planet, the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
Do you believe in heaven?
And welcome back here to, I told earlier today, I said, send me an angel, and they sent me Angel Martinez, so I had to play the one-hit wonder here. We are back here live, special edition of the Pete Sheppard Show on the awesome Tony Bruno Sports Network. And joining us right now for a few minutes, Jake the Snake Plumber in the house. And I'm glad you're here. Welcome, and your thoughts so far on the whole experience.
Well, it's interesting to be in Vegas, for one, because there's so much going on. It's always, active and things going down. But now, they got the Super Bowl here, too. This is insane.
Would you ever have thought this, when you started playing in the late 90s? I mean, the NFL was so non-gambling.
It's
Isn't it
crazy.
amazing?
I mean, it's really crazy to have, the team. I feel more like, oh, great, there's a team here, but what about those Oakland Raider fans? Because, man, I love playing in Oakland, and those were fans. They were as into it and passionate as you get back east to, like, the Jersey Meadowlands and the Jets and Giants fans who are Philly fans that grew up, born and raised, and they're in it. And I kind of feel like, oh, you took their team and brought them down here. Where is there Raider fans here? Yeah, when they fly in to go gamble. And so I don't know. I'm sure it's been a great experiment, and what a beautiful stadium, and lots to do this Super Bowl week.
Well, let me get your thoughts right away, since you were such a great quarterback in your day. And the first thing I wanted to do real quick before we get into Brock Purdy and Patrick Mahomes, what was it like going from Arizona State and then going to the Cardinals?
Yeah, it was
more pressure. Did you feel more pressure back then?
It actually took some of the pressure off.
Really?
Because I had a great fan base already there in town from my days at ASU. I remember my first action was in Philly, and I got in, and the next week we played the Oilers. They're still the Oilers, and I threw 4 interceptions that game. And each time I came back on the field, the fans were excited to see me, and that doesn't happen in New York. I'm already like a bust, done, get it out of here. He sucks, So, that was nice to make that transition. I had familiar faces there at ASU. Didn't have to move, so it wasn't too bad. I wish we could have built off of that 98 year at Arizona with the Cardinals. We kind of made some personnel moves that were questionable, and just didn't quite get back to what we started there in 98. But great organization. It was fun, and that 98 season was big. That's why that team's not here in Vegas or LA. We won that year, and they got the stadium passed, and it was good.
If I was single and in college at Arizona State, I would find a way. Some of these guys can sort of fabricate 9-year careers sometimes in college. Why would you leave an institution that is like 4-to-1 women to men?
Well, it depends on what you're focused on.
I know.
If you're focused on playing to win a national title,
exactly.
They were lots of fun to be had, but it was a great place to go to school. For me, I mean, growing up in Idaho, living in the desert was way different. It's a total different environment. But Bruce Snyder was really the reason I made it down there. And, him saying, we feel you could lead us, be part of an important piece of the puzzle in this team to help create a national championship team. The only coach in the NCAA that said that, so I had to go see if what he was talking could happen, and damn, we almost did it.
Yeah, almost. Let's talk about this game coming up. Particularly, I want to get your perspective on, Patrick Mahomes and Brock Purdy. It came from 2 totally different, Mr. Irrelevant to highly touted Patrick Mahomes, who had a weighty year under Alex Smith, then got it done. But your thoughts on both of these quarterbacks, and how do you expect them to play in this game?
Yeah, I really have enjoyed watching Patrick Mahomes, his style, his freedom to make plays and throws from all angles. He's your non-prototypical quarterback, really. Yet he can stand in there and do the prototypical, heavy-footed pocket passer stuff, but then he's just so electrifying outside the pocket and the way he throws the ball, and he's such a great athlete. And I've watched through his career, like when I watch games and they show the sideline, you can see where he's at. Like, he's not the guy sitting off there on the side during the last drive of the game when the defense needs to stop the other team's offense to get the ball back. He's not sitting there like, he's up on the sideline like, let's go, D, get me I want that ball back. And I love that when I see the leader of the team embracing that and not just off sitting there hoping they get the ball back. So can go out and do my thing. He's got such passion and what a great leader. And then Brock Purdy, I mean, Mr. Irrelevant, and what he's done to get coached, number one, because I know, the Kyle Shanahan and the coaches on that staff, and just the way that I was coached when I got to Denver, and how really great it was to have these coaches that just broke down my game and then morphed it back into building the pieces around what I did well, but also challenging me to approach those edges where I didn't do some things that well and get better at that. And Brock has really done that. And I think, the Minnesota game, he looked a little off, but that last game, man, he stepped up huge. The runs he had were huge. The throws he made were big-time throws, and that really showed me, okay, is this kid going to be able to take that now to the biggest game of his life? I hope so, because it'd be fun to see two QBs that can get it done, and these teams go at it. I don't know who I want to win. I mean, I'd love to see the Niners because of my connections there. The Kubiak kids are coaching there, and all those guys that I know. And Christian McCaffrey was just a kid when I was playing with his dad.
Unbelievable.
He's so fun to watch run. I love the passion that comes out of him when he runs, like when he touches the ball and the way he does it is beautiful, man. So I'm excited to just hopefully see a good competitive game and watch these QBs make plays.
All right, now you've got a couple minutes left. Wanted to ask you about, we are based out of Southwest Florida. I've moved there from New England 7 years ago. I'm in Fort Myers now. Naples is the pickleball capital of the world. So now you're also an expert handball player. I know you're very good at it. I don't know if you ever tried out for the Olympic team, whatever. And now you're a pickleball fanatic as well. What do you like better, handball or pickleball? And you're into pickleball now.
It's so tough. Handball is the best game ever invented. And so you may be referencing team handball, which is different than actual handball, where you're hitting the ball with your hands in a rack, like they play racquetball on a handball court. So that's just a great game, but it's one that you have to really take care of your body to play, because it's a very ballistic, extreme sport. So playing that is super fun. I tell people it's like take your dog to the dog park and he runs around and how happy he is. That's me on a handball court.
Excellent.
Chasing a ball. But pickleball, it's a lot easier on my body. I love it because I can play a 60-year-old or 70-year-old or a 20-year-old and have a great time. So a sport that can take all those age ranges and you can still go out and compete and have fun is a great sport.
Jake, thanks for stopping by.
Hey, Brian.
And best of luck in everything you do. A big fan. So continued success. And
awesome.
I hope to see you on NBC in a pickleball championship soon.
We'll see, man. I don't know if I want to get that serious yet, but thank you guys for having me on the show.
Oh, our pleasure. The best. Right. Jake the Snake Plumber joining us. And, if you don't remember playing in Arizona, Denver, cup of coffee maybe with Tampa Bay. Oh, yeah, I want to take a quick picture. We have to.
Real place for total sports. That's the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
You just ain't seen nothing yet.
Now back to the biggest sports network on the planet, the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
And welcome back. It is a special, another edition of the Pete Sheppard Show. It's really just a special edition of the Tony Bruno Sports Network here on Radio Row at Mandalay Bay Convention Center. And I'll remind everybody whenever I play ELO or, the worst movie in the history of movies ever made was Xanadu.
Bite your mouth, bite your tongue, bite your tongue.
The soundtrack is one of the best ever. The soundtrack is one of the best ever from Xanadu. The movie is absolutely awful. I don't know how much they paid Gene Kelly to skate around in that stupid movie with Olivia Newton-John.
How can you
it was
say
horrific.
Gene Kelly
roller
skating is a horrible thing? It was wonderful. Olivia Newton-John.
The best part of the movie was watching Gene Kelly try to skate, which was fine. But that movie sucked. No. It was awful.
No, wait. Do you have your breaking news sounder?
Oh, yeah. Hang on. Yes. Hey, here we go. Hang on. I'll tell you when.
Okay.
Have to wait. There we go.
I have to do this the right way. The boss is here. He came down. We came up. He's doing just fine, so he's here. He's alert.
I'm glad I showed up and had Pete yelling at Robin for once instead of me. You guys arguing. She's usually yelling at me, Pete, and you're yelling at Robin about Xanadu. I knew when you mentioned Xanadu, she would go off.
How dare you?
You couldn't possibly have liked that movie.
Okay.
Could you even know what was going on? It was like fairies and it was.
Hey, what's wrong with fairies?
Tripping on acid in the '60s, maybe you get it.
They were muses.
I wasn't amused at all.
I remember I was such a big Olivia Newton-John fan, huge. And so when that movie came out, I was like, oh, my God, this is so exciting.
Because you thought it was going to be like Grease again, and it wasn't.
It was fantastic. Shut your mouth.
Robin wasn't even a druggie back then either.
I was like, I think I was
fantastic.
I was probably 10 or 11 years old. My stepdad took me and my best friend to go take it. I think we were the only 3 people in the theater.
I mean, it was just, it's terrible. And the music was fantastic.
Yes.
There wasn't a song on that album. And I'd say half the songs were top.
I had that
25 on the
LP, and I played the crap out of it.
I did too. The ELO stuff and all the Olivia Newton-John stuff was just fantastic. Just the movie itself was absolutely.
Who was the guy in it? Was he even anybody?
I don't know. I think he's dead.
Hold on.
I know Gene Kelly's dead.
Yeah, and Olivia Newton-John, unfortunately, has passed away.
Sadly,
With
yes.
sweetheart, sadly.
Yes.
I mean, talk about talent. But that was god awful. I mean, right up there, almost with Hudson Hawk. Really terrible.
Xanadu was.
Was it as bad as Waterworld?
No,
Waterworld
Waterworld
I can
was
deal with. At least
horrible.
I can get through that movie and everything else.
Michael Beck. That's
Michael.
who
Who
the
the hell
guy.
is that?
The love interest was Michael Beck.
Not Glenn Beck. And not Beck.
Not
Beck.
Not Rod Stewart's old guitarist.
Well, he's not very well known because when I looked up his Wikipedia page, he says Michael Beck is an American actor. He is known for his role as Swan in The Warriors and Sonny Malone in Xanadu.
Okay, The Warriors. I remember.
Love
Actually,
the Warriors,
I remember him in The Warriors.
Yes.
Warriors. Yeah.
He didn't do it. I'm a loser, baby. So what? No, that's the other Beck.
Yes. Yeah.
He had beautiful hair.
Did he even speak in the movie?
Yes.
What did he say? Can you remember one line besides the music? Can you remember one line?
I can remember the entire Space Cadelic movie from.
Name one line from the movie from
I don't remember
somebody.
lines.
Well, that means it's not memorable.
No, but I don't remember lines anyway. That's not.
You remember if I said you're going to need a bigger bowl. What's that from?
He was a young artist that was trying to, and then he fell in love with a muse who was Zeus's daughter,
I
Olivia Newton-John, and then she helped him create.
Wait a minute, it had Greek
Xanadu,
gods?
the club.
Greek
Well,
gods?
here's what else. Why it's bullshit too. Zeus's only daughter that I know of. You know who it is?
Athena.
Diana Prince, Wonder Woman.
Oh, well,
She
that's
was sculpted from clay. She was.
Yes.
I was sculpted by
Get
dough.
it right, people. Get it right.
Tony was sculpted by Play-Doh.
I was sculpted by a nice big bowl of sourdough ready to be put in the oven, man.
Are you like the Pillsbury Doughboy?
I'm not quite that big, Robin. Come on.
Touch his tummy. Does he go when he touches his tummy?
Can you
Tweak
do
his
the little
tummy. Tweak his tummy.
Oh, man.
That's not how it goes,
I haven't had
Tony.
coffee yet. But it's a nice morning out. I finally saw the sunrise for the
Tony,
first
when
time.
I got up, I was here at 4:30. It was pouring rain and cloudy.
Yeah, I saw it rained again,
Yeah.
and I said, so I had my hat. I had my bucket hat on from the Cali
saw
people.
that.
I said,
saw that.
I love those bucket hats.
You're a human marketing poster board.
It doesn't, I don't look bald in that, and then people don't recognize me, except
Well, no,
the guys
you
at the
look,
phone.
You look
Oh.
like Sean Connery from the movie, the one where he was in the Raiders of whatever.
Yeah.
When
He was the
played,
dad in
when he
in-
played
Yes,
the dad,
yeah.
and he had one of those bucket hats on.
Wasn't he
Yes.
Indiana
That's what he-
Jones'
Yes,
dad?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. It was.
And that's when you have the
quite
bucket
Holy
hat
Grail
on,
one, yeah.
especially the white. When you have it turned over on the white side,
Yeah.
you look like Sean Connery.
Okay, this is a funny story from yesterday. So, Brian Bruno from Naples Wealth Planning, Big Mucky Buck, and his.
Did you guys go out last night?
And I'll get to that in a second.
okay.
His assistant, the CEO, Rick Calhoun, they're going to be dropping by later, as is Field Yates momentarily after he gets done with his TV stuff. But so Brian goes through security last night, right, Tony? And, that flips his bag. Yeah. And the security person says to him, two things. One, he goes, we just sent it. He goes, just be careful, turn your badge around because, we weren't the only one. A lot of people got red. And he says, have fun with your dad. Meaning
No way.
And even though Brian's name is EAU, the French version, and you are, but the young lady downstairs was just didn't get it. He's like, and Brian didn't say anything. He's
So-
like,
so-
okay.
I'm not old enough to be Brian's dad.
No,
No, but she just put two and two together. That is
I came out with 10. But then I said, wait a minute. If Tony's your dad, Brian, does that make me your stepmother? And,
That's right.
And then so when he left, he goes, bye, mommy.
Well, every time I walk around and I see a beautiful woman, I'm saying, "Who's your dad?"
Well,
You know what I'm saying? That's my first move, my pickup line. Who's your dad?
Well, the three of us went out last night after the show, and we went to the Irish pub in Mandalay Bay. Had a really I had already eaten a big sandwich earlier in the food court, so I was full. So I just had cocktails, watched them eat. They had a good meal. Then we went to the Prohibition bar,
Yes.
which is really cool because it doesn't look like a bar. It looks like this is this giant door with some picturesque stuff out there from the Prohibition. But you go in, and it's really cool Vegas, dark and lighting. And
Do you have any absinthe in there?
No,
Absinthe is
no,
the thing
yeah,
that
yeah,
was illegal. You would go into Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to go in the back room of this bar and you get absinthe.
They didn't. There was a back room though. There was a back room, but
Was
it
Rick
was
Pitino in there after his big win the other night?
No, he wasn't. But then afterwards, we went downstairs, had a cigar at the bar that we were at on Saturday and Sunday. And Brian says, he says, I like calling Robin mommy.
Oh wow! How many cocktails have you had at that point?
Well, it was fine. So we had a good time. I'm glad everybody. You guys got 7-8 hours sleep. That's awesome.
Robin didn't. I did.
I did. I got exactly.
What time did you wake up?
The normal. 4:15.
Dude.
What did you say? What did you say?
I said
we
that-
had prop bets on what exactly you would say.
Yep.
First
What time
about
did you
waking
wake
up.
up?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know because Robin's quiet.
I know.
I woke up and I saw the light on in the
Ka-ching.
bathroom. I woke up. I saw the light on in the bathroom, and I said, "Robin, you still here?" And then I got up, but I got up today. I got up today at 5:30. That's not exactly sleeping in.
Oh no, I'm not saying. Look,
I said that you were going to
no
say.
one's
I didn't
saying
even.
you're
I didn't hear you.
Yep. See, I told you.
I didn't hear anything. I didn't know what time it was, what day it was.
I wish I could get 7 hours straight sleep. I'm a bad sleeper, but I feel great. But I'm refreshed. I get like 4, and then I'm up for an hour.
How
and
many
then I get
hours?
3.
4. By the way, I don't even know where I was going with this. So I wake up, and then I'm like, wow. What time is it? The curtains weren't open, but it wasn't sunlight yet.
Yeah.
It was just starting, and I looked out. I saw everything was wet, and I'm saying, do I have to put? So I put my hat on, not knowing if it was raining. So then I just walked, and it was nice. The tram guy waited for me. Walked up. Now, these guys know the first tram guy because the first tram leaves at 5. You walk, Pete, right?
I walk. Yeah, it's about a 15-minute walk for me to get here from Luxor.
And then another 15 minutes once you get into the building to get through security.
I've never had a problem, even now that I knew exactly what to do and everything. I've not had a problem.
And by the way, everybody's talking about the security, and there's always been, but the one thing they don't do anymore, they used to open up your bag with a stick and then reach in there to see what was in. Now you just put it through the machine and everything's cool. So that's gotten a lot easier, to come in and out every day.
Well, and then this morning I discovered a game that they're playing down there.
Really?
Guys,
what is it?
Yeah, the guys.
Monopoly?
No, they're
Duck, Goose.
Guess the laptop
Red
brand.
Rover, Red Rover.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, guess the laptop brand. So all the guys that are, because you go through the X-ray machine, right? You have to send your bag through. So they're playing guess the laptop brand, and they got mine wrong. He was very upset.
How many different laptops can there be?
Well, there's a lot.
HPs, Macs.
Like this particular guy guessed Lenovo, and so he got it wrong, which his partner was very happy about.
You notice what they would never get? My Sony Vaio, my red Sony Vaio. My favorite
Vaio.
computer of all time, man. Remember the Sony Vios?
I had a Commodore 64.
No, this was a laptop.
I know. The first. Remember the did IBM? Remember the? I know IBM never had a laptop.
No, they had the big room. Was their first computer. It was a gigantic room, which looks like mission control. Now that fits in your phone.
Yeah,
that the original room full of equipment to operate computers is now in your phone, which could be the worst thing that was ever invented.
Well, they said the first one when they were coming out with it, even IBM, they had the size of 2 warehouses were the hard drives and the processors back in the day.
I know, it's unbelievable.
Did you have to take basic programming in high school? Did you take basic? Yeah.
Yeah, I was super nerd. I had a Commodore
me too. I had some great programs, and then I tried COBOL. There's COBOL and I think Fortran. I didn't do so well with it.
I saw Fortran downstairs in the bar this morning. That's happened when you walk through at 5:45 in the morning. People, you see, there was one woman, this one blonde woman, was sitting there smoking at a penny slot machine.
Assuming a blonde woman.
No, it was a woman.
Oh, okay.
I didn't ask her. But I saw her. And it was that's sort of sad, isn't it? 5:45, sitting alone, smoking a cigarette at the penny slots.
Yeah.
That's what you see. If I ever get to that point, just shoot me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm sure she's on vacation and she's probably getting ready to go to bed or just got up, whatever.
Yeah, but I see him walking through. 4:15, I'm 4:20. I'm walking through and there's those certain ones that there's 4 bottles of beer on the slot machine or on the virtual blackjack or roulette machine, and you can just tell, And
it's not just women. I don't want to make it sound like women are the only people
it's
playing penny slots at 5:30 in the morning. There's a lot of bros out there, too, and I wouldn't even call them bros. What would you call them?
Freaky people. Freaky-looking people.
But Robin and I last night, Pete, that's the story I want to mention. So we're hungry. It was the first night we can actually sit down. We were tired, but let's go to Buco de Beppo, right? And we know the prices are high. Yeah. We went in there and and I'm telling you, that the one thing that they do is they still give you massive sizes, even for the regular size.
Yeah.
So we got our favorite salad, the gorgonzola with apple, and it's a gigantic bowl. And then we just ordered baked ziti, baked ziti, and the baked ziti comes out, and it's enough for 5 people.
Wow, that's
great.
So
we start eating the salad. So when we got out of there, Pete, the night before, we had 2 drinks each, right?
Yeah.
But they were top shelf, and they were big pours. That was $86 pre-tip. Robin and I had dinner because that was a full dinner. We didn't have any bread or anything. $86. That sounds like a lot, but we had a lot of food, and we kept feeding ourselves. Saying we have no place to take this. We can't put it. There's no fridge in
it. You could. Most hotels have a microwave and a fridge in it.
Yeah.
And that could be your lunch or dinner for the next couple of days.
And when we do it at home, when we go to a Buco at home, we would take the stuff with us and put it in the fridge and eat it the next day.
Which is nothing better than pasta the next day.
Yeah, but not the salads. When the salad's got all the dressing on it,
not that.
It's shot. It's not. That doesn't hold up. Neither does calamari. If you order calamari the next day, you may as well go cut up a tire in your backyard and try to eat it.
It's like French fries. But leftover pasta when you make it home is always,
especially the Al Forno, because it had the ricotta cheese. They put balls of ricotta cheese, and it's got the mozzarella, and then you get that all ooey gooey again.
That sounds so
good. I need to go get some more. Are they open yet?
Nothing's open yet. I can't even get a donut.
It's an outrage.
Outrageous. Rob, I'm going to take a quick break here because I think Phil Yates is going to be coming by very shortly. And I want to keep things on time.
Exactly.
Somewhat
it's like a
on
train,
time,
man.
which- yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
who was it? Mussolini and Hitler made the trains keep running. I'm the Mussolini or the Hitler of this show. We got to keep the show
God.
running.
I think you did a better analogy
Yeah.
than that.
Well, I mean, that's what they got credit for. Well, at least they got the trains running.
I'll give you the Roger Goodell. You're the Roger Goodell. You're the commissioner, okay? How about that? I don't mess with the big H or the big M.
I know. That was just
Yeah, no. You know what? I agree with you. However, my favorite, Ricky Gervais.
Yes.
He texted something yesterday. He had said something profound about the world is in shambles today because people are more worried about feelings than about facts.
True.
Right?
Yes.
And then somebody responded to him saying, wow, are you really that much of a right-wing zealot, wacko now?
Yeah.
Because what you just said puts you in company with really bad people. And Ricky Gervais responded with, yeah, and I'm a vegetarian, just like Hitler.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, so brilliant.
I didn't know Hitler was a vegetarian. See what you learn every day?
Oh,
so
my
brilliant.
God.
Only on TBSN.
I'm just looking at this since I have a lot of friends in the New England area. 2 JetBlue planes collided on the ground at Logan Airport this morning.
No!
Holy crap. On the
Wow.
ground.
You know why?
How the hell does that happen?
That's
That's ground control to Major Tom, and Major Tom wasn't listening.
We know one of our best friends is an air traffic controller, and he told us several years ago that he is very concerned because they're hiring people that are not as qualified.
It's the most strenuous job in the world.
Most strenuous job in the world.
You
And
remember Summer Rental with John Candy when he was the air traffic control guy, and before he went on vacation, and he's like he's doing it, and he's so stressed out the day he's going to work. All these things happen to him. It's the beginning of the movie, and he's like, American airline flight, blah blah blah. Can descend to 20, and he's going on and on, and then there's some small players like, yes, he goes. The pilot says back to him and says, "What do you want me to do? Crash into this other plane?" He goes, "What other plane?" He's like, "I'm not gonna descend you." So he's looking on the screen. He can't. He said, "Help! I got a small plane. I can't find it." And then the director, who's coming around, it's like a pit boss comes over and goes and says, whatever's name was John, and he flicks a fly off the screen, and there was a little play. The fly was on the screen with a little play.
Well, in fairness to air traffic controllers, the ground, there's two different operations. There's a ground control guy that can see the planes on the runways before they give them the clearance, before the tower gives them the clearance to take off. So the ground control people are the ones who manage and navigate to see where the planes are, and because that should never happen.
No.
Never.
All right, let's take a quick break here. We are broadcasting live, as always, on Radio Row here at Mandalay Bay Convention Center. The Tony Bruno Sports Network, TB, is in the house. I'm here. Angel Martinez is here. Miss Robin. Phil Yates is coming up in a little bit. Our good friend Brian Bruno and his CEO, Rick Calhoun, going to join us, too, for a little bit. Lots more to tell you about. I still want to get to the Tom Brady response on the podcast last night about why Bill Belichick doesn't have a job. It even shocked him. We'll play that as also a lot of preview sound as Sam Brand and KC get ready to kick off Super Bowl LVIII. Quick break. We're back after this.
Major Tom. Good job, Robin.
Thank you.
She's awake.
Yeah.
You're listening to Tony Bruno Sports Network. Tony didn't invent sports radio. He perfected it.
Ignition, and may God's love be with you. This is ground control to Major Tom. You've really made the grade, and the papers want to know whose shirt you wear. Now it's time Wrong to Major Tom, your circuit's dead. There's something wrong. Can you hear me, Major Tom? Can you hear me, Major Tom? Can you hear me, Major Tom? Can you hear? Am I approaching my tin can? Planet Earth is blue, and there's nothing I can
Now back to the biggest sports network on the planet, the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
Now they're like a little black box in the morning, right, Angel?
Exactly. See, this is the part that I enjoy because usually when I was in the warehouse, I would crank this up because I knew Pete was always coming to something good, and then I get somebody tell me, turn that down. I'm like, all right, whatever.
God, please. That's good pretzel making music.
It is. Definitely is.
Anyway, Angel Martinez in the house with me. Tony Bruno went to get coffee. Miss Robin in the house as well. It is a special edition of the Pete Sheppard Show. It's on the Tony Bruno. I don't even know. It's just an awesome. It's just the Tony Bruno Sports Network, which has been fantastic. Kick-ass shows all week long. We are live again from 9 a.m. until 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. Vegas time. We've got a lot of people watching on YouTube and Facebook. Hello. The reason why you don't see our credential is mine's in the back because MI6 came,
Yes.
you know, from that. MI6 from London came over. If you watch James Bond movies, you know what I'm talking about. We had Tom Cruise hang like he did in Mission Impossible.
Yep.
SWAT. You know, taking notes. I mean, you guys, we couldn't show that. You know, security is up the ass here as far as, and it's security, not security like checking for weapons, which they do, but the media police, aka
Yes.
the NFL. I mean, God forbid. You would think we were like crossing a border illegally or something like that. Good God.
We got severely hand slapped yesterday, saying, and the thing that is even more crazy is that our fabulous interns. Can I just say again how amazing
Jess and Bisa
have been. Without me having to tell either one of them, they have been making sure that any photographs that are posted on social media don't have the, like, if it was showing the correct way or the right way around, they were covering it up with like little footballs
little
or whatever.
football. That was awesome.
Awesome stuff. So all of our photographs are fine. This was the live feed where we really don't have that. Like, if somebody accidentally leans over and your tag flips over, your pass fits, or if a guest comes and they're responsible for their own thing, and that's what we got notified about, that our live feed was showing a split second of the media pass.
And you really got to look really hard to see it as well. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty clear, but I mean, you really have to. I mean,
if somebody actually tried to do a screenshot, it wouldn't be clear. It was too small for it, and I'm like, and then I mentioned it to somebody else because the next guest that came by, I said, please flip it because we're going to get in trouble again. And they said, really? In this place with all these cameras, they are worried. Why don't they, if they're so worried about it, why don't they put that special film over it?
Yeah.
Because that film that you can put over it is sort of like an iridescent thing, and it can't be picked up on any kind of camera.
Yep.
Amazing.
Yeah, well, I have text messages.
Yeah, 352-234-8669. Call or text. Hit it, Miss Robin.
Joey B. in Fort Collins, Colorado says, Angel Pete, ask Jake about his four-wall handball career.
Oh,
now, obviously, we did that.
Yeah.
I don't know who this is from, but it says, Angel, what's on the breakfast buffet menu this morning? So far, it's old pastries from Day-O Pastries.
You had that in your hotel room last night?
No, what we did is we absconded with some of the end-of-the-day pastries so that we could bring them here this morning because we knew that when we arrive at 5:30 or earlier.
Yeah,
There's
nothing.
not going to be
Nothing.
anything. So that's what we did. And then last, Pete versus Miss Robin and the Xanadu Smack Talk. It's going down on Radio Row. Thanks for the shows and content this week. That's
Now,
also Joey B.
The only thing I can bring up is obviously the comments over on the platform I use to stream out, because usually that's where I'm manning to see what's going on over there. So if Joey B sent a text, it's probably because he sent it over on the platform and it wasn't seen.
Let me see.
Joey B's great.
Oh,
though.
there's tons of texts on here.
See?
Oh, man, I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. No, wait, isn't that? Oh, it's you're talking about on the like Facebook
on the live,
or YouTube
live stream.
Yes.
Real Justin Alinea.
Sounds
Good
good.
morning. Happy Thursday,
Morning.
TBSN hard-working crew. And then Tim Barrington goes, leaving on a jet plane.
that's
Hitler was vegan?
Oh,
Priceless.
That's dopey. That's dopey. Texter dopey. Yeah, Jesus Christ. It's unbelievable.
I'm starting to get to know your people. That's for sure.
Well, they've been, a long time. Yeah, they're my people, and they're wacko. They're crazy, and I love them.
But Dopey's got some good ones.
Yeah, here's another one. I remember meeting Tony at a tequila event. Was super fun getting to meet him in person. And for some reason, Robin told my mom I was a good kid. I was in my late 20s.
Wow. So you're sculpting and molding young minds, Ms. Robin.
Joey B again. Pete versus Robin in the movie Smack Talk. Hilarious.
I don't even call it a movie.
Xanadu?
No.
It is a movie.
It's awful.
Great costumes.
It
Great.
was.
No.
See, I enjoyed it, but then again,
that skating nightclub, I would go there. It was amazing.
I love roller skating. I was a skate guard. I mean, I played. I guess that stuff was okay. And I see Gene Kelly on roller skates now. I go, it just. And I knew who he was back. I'm not one of those, younger going, who's this guy? I mean, I know my entertainment history. I didn't get it.
Now, which one was worse, though? Xanadu, Flash Gordon?
Oh, Xanadu.
No.
Yeah, Xanadu.
No.
Flash. Miracle.
No.
The music in that by
something of
Queen.
the universe. Flash.
Yeah, that's Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
That was almost as bad. I do want
Barbarella.
Jane Fonda, half naked in the movie.
But
how about the opening scene?
Movie itself was atrocious.
It was.
And her acting was atrocious.
It was historic.
What?
I agree with you. The movie was terrible. I only saw it once. It's amazing. I think she's still embarrassed to this day, amongst some other things that she said and did. But it is what it is. Here we are, 352-234-8669. Keep the calls and texts coming. I do want to play this. Tom Brady on Bill Belichick. This was on the Let's Go podcast. Even Bill not being named to any of these teams as a head coach surprised him.
Are you surprised Bill Belichick hasn't gotten a job in this cycle?
I mean, I'm surprised that the greatest coach ever doesn't have a job. Absolutely. But, I'm surprised a lot of things in the NFL. I'm surprised. When I was a free agent, there was a lot of teams that didn't want me. I'm surprised that Steve Young started in the USFL and went to Tampa. I'm surprised that Tampa traded Steve Young to the 49ers. So there's a lot of things that happen that, for one reason or another, don't go exactly the way you think they should go.
Yeah, I guess. But again, a lot of that stuff, Tom, was, the USFL was about money. They were paying Steve Young and Jim Kelly, Doug Flutie, a lot of money, lots and lots of money. That they probably shouldn't have, because it really never took off after the first couple of years. One more little thing. How about this? Detroit's Calvin Johnson, right, admitted. This is on the Ones podcast. Listen to to Megatron talk about this. Calvin.
Anytime now.
Did you ever play any games high?
Yes, I have. There were some games there in my career, man. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to make it today. I don't know how I'm going to make it today. Let me get my mind right.
So you obviously had the game. This was against the Dallas Cowboys in 2013, where you had 329 receiving yards. Were you, diving into the cannabis, or was it later, more so 2014, 2015?
Nah, it was like my last year when I was just I was barely hanging on.
If you had 329 receiving yards, getting fried before the game. I mean, everybody going to be getting fried before the game now because the Calvin Johnson did it. Wake up! Wake up!
That's unbelievable. Stone playing a game, Calvin Johnson. Oh, great stuff there. Great stuff.
Told by another team out in Florida. I won't name the team, but they said 4 players in one night played high. 3 out of the 4 ended up having the better games while they were high than if they were just playing sober.
David Wells would play drunk or hungover, and Ferguson Jenkins, a lot of other players that were, either on coke or LSD or whatever it was, whatever drug they were using. I think that's historic. Baseball players particularly, it seemed, but I would find it hard to believe to be stoned a little bit or high on marijuana and playing an NFL game. That's got to be tough.
Yeah.
That's got to be tough. On ESPN yesterday, Jeff Saturday compares Brock Purdy and Shanahan to Mahomes and Reed.
Be a Hall of Fame game for Kyle Shanahan. He wins this game with he's accomplished. That could get him on the road towards the Hall of Fame. And you brought up a point of you think works in his favor.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you think about Brock Purdy, this could be his Patrick Mahomes, right, for Andy Reid. And I say it this way: he couldn't get over the hump at Andy Reid. He was 11-13 before Mahomes comes in. Now Mahomes takes it and elevates this thing. So if they found their guy, I mean, he went all in on him. Shanahan went all in on Purdy. He's your guy. All of a sudden, you win the Super Bowl. You now become what Andy Reid was 6 years ago to what Shanahan now is, a Super Bowl champion who's gone twice and with 2 different teams.
Are you comparing Brock Purdy to Patrick Mahomes?
I just did. And I didn't say as a player, but I said as what could help his coach go from a really good coach to a Hall of Fame coach overnight.
Can I quote Jeff Saturday?
Yeah.
Are you high?
Yes.
Good.
As Jeff would say, he's on that good. Or as Marcus would say, he's on that yak.
Yeah, well, Mike Tannenbaum, I have a hard time taking anything he says after this GM failures. It's hard. And once in a while, he'll make a great point. But out of all the analysts and panelists on ESPN, which are way too many, but he's at the bottom of my list.
Yeah. It was, what was it? Oh, Miss Robin and I. So we were coming over from our hotel over to the Mandalay Bay. It was funny because across the screen, how many times, Pete, could you ask the same question throughout the week? What would it mean for Pat Mahomes if he wins the big game? You're asking it. I'm pretty sure every reporter on media night, first opening night on Monday night, probably asked the same question.
I know.
Tuesday, he probably got the same question in the morning. Wednesday, so now it's Thursday. They're splashing back up there on the screen. One is he wins the game. That's first and foremost. Mm-hmm. But how many times can you repeat the same thing?
And it's not like all of these interviews are not being handed out to everybody. So everybody here has heard him answer that question.
Yeah, and you're going to ask, and the answer that always is going to come now, because I heard it many times with the Patriots and their magical run for 20-something years. What's your favorite? You're gonna hear this next for Patrick Mahomes. What's your favorite Super Bowl? And he's going to say the next one. So all their other players. So it's scripted.
It's these standard answers. It's like, come on, people. You're supposed to be journalists. Come up with something a little bit unique.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, San Francisco head coach Kyle Shanahan talks about the difference of being a play caller from a head coach compared to an offensive coordinator. Slow.
He's coming.
Oh, God.
Hello.
What the hell?
He's coming. He's the connection.
Don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on. Let me try that. It's not me. Angel's witness.
That's right. It is the connection.
Is it? Oh, are you? You're on Wi-Fi because.
Yeah, but I'm on the SBFI. All right. Meanwhile, maybe that cut just didn't load up. Kyle Shanahan doesn't really think his current legacy. Thinks of his dad.
No, I see.
Oh, here we go. All right. It's just a little slow.
I never thought about the word legacy. When I think of legacy, I think of my dad. I still, even though it doesn't look like that when I FaceTime anymore, but I still feel like I'm somewhat young. And it just doesn't really work that way with me. I don't think that works that way with a lot of people are just in it. You're just trying to win that game, and that game is always the next one. And we're in a game where this is the last one of the year, and these are the ones that count. So yeah, you understand that, you're aware of that, but that's stuff that you don't really have time to spend thinking about. It's nice, hopefully, when a game's over, you can sit back and think about that stuff and enjoy it, and that's what you usually do at the end of the year. You think about a lot of stuff, and you go through that. That's why we all need to get away a little bit usually when the season ends. That's why I'm very glad I don't have to go on a recruiting trail or anything like that. And whether it's good or bad, either way, you got to take about a month to do that. And when you come back, you get ready for that next year. When it's all said and done, then I guess people can talk about legacy.
I know that, one of the bigger stories this week outside of the X's and O's, I guess, was the 49ers practicing on the UNLV field, and apparently they weren't happy with the conditions. Shanahan talks about that.
Yeah, we had a normal practice.
And do you practice there the rest of the week?
Oh, yeah. We're not going to change our whole schedule up. We'd have to go too early in the morning, mess everything up. So this is the best choice we got.
Are you satisfied with that choice?
We're here. We're practicing on it. I mean, everyone has their preferences and wish things were better, but we'll deal with the field how it is.
Oh, that would be the first excuse. God forbid they lose. They didn't get to practice enough in ideal conditions.
If you heard it last year with the Eagles, when they played KC out there in Arizona, that was a big complaint. They said, well, the field had sloppy conditions, and that took the edge when it came to KC. I don't see that. You had 60 minutes to win that game, and you didn't.
Yeah,
plain
exactly. Meanwhile, Brock Purdy, San Francisco quarterback, says, get this, how flag football helped him.
I played up until I was about 12, and I think it just helped just with the speed of the game. It was a quick game. I think hand-eye coordination, all that kind of stuff really did develop for me, throughout my years of playing flag football. Obviously, being able to juke and cut and move in certain ways, just from the way the sport is, helped me for tackle football. I feel like when I started playing tackle football, it was a little slower, actually, because of just the pace of the game compared to flag. So anytime I'm talking family and friends, I always encourage, kids growing up to start off with flag football and play, really as long as they can to help develop those kind of skills.
All right. Meanwhile, Brock Purdy also talked about, and I think this is very interesting, the moment he felt he earned the trust of his teammates.
I mean, last year, when I stepped in, we were on a roll as a team. Just obviously, we had the Super Bowl on our minds and in our sights. So, for me, really, it was like, all right, we're rolling. I'm just continuing to do what Jimmy had done before, and didn't want to, lose a step or take a step back as an offense. So, for me, I didn't really know or understand until probably this year. We went on a roll. We're 5-0, and then honestly, when we went on a streak of losing some games, that's I feel like when you start questioning and seeing how guys respond to you. And my team had my back. Even through those 3 games that we lost in a row, you had guys on defense, Dre Greenlaw, Fred, Eric Armstead, like all those guys continue to come up to me and say, hey, dude, we got your back. This is the NFL. It's not easy. And so it was in those moments that I knew I was, all right, these guys got my back and we can go.
Yeah, but in those 3 losses, we remember, Angel, that, Deebo Samuel was out, I think, for all 3, and McCaffrey, I think, was out, if not all 3, for 2. I mean, it was a different team. It was, I can't. Those 2 guys make a huge difference, and you look at their numbers when one of those 2 guys isn't in the lineup, and it is significantly different.
It is. It is big time. I mean, look at Brock Purdy last year when he got hurt. Again, it referenced the NFC Championship game of last year. Brock Purdy goes down, it's a whole different situation. We could have been, now, of course, this game hasn't been played yet because it's not Sunday, but you take a look at last year, Brock Purdy healthy against the Eagles, we could have been talking about 2 different outcomes. And San Fran could have had their first one maybe last year. Not the first one. It would be one number 6 for them. But, yeah, you're talking about 2 different tales.
Absolutely. Moving on to Christian McCaffrey, he says his dad and older brother, biggest impacts on him.
Man, it's hard to just say one. I've had so many people who have made such a big impact and so many people I'm thankful for. My dad's been a massive impact in my life from the time, he taught me and my brothers how to play the game, how to do it the right way. My older brother is somebody that I credit almost all of my success to because, my older brother carried me, everywhere. He would beat the hell out of me in one-on-one outside, whether we were shooting hoops, whether we were playing knee football, video games, whatever it was. He would always beat me, but he always included me, and I'm really thankful for that. He let me tag along with his friends. And then, man, I've had so many great coaches, too, that it'd be too long to list the names, but a lot of people who have had massive impacts on my life.
And he also went on, Christian McCaffrey talked about himself and Brock Purdy, the advantage in the NFL schedule, or advantage in the NFL because he's had to scratch and claw for everything.
He's calling.
Yeah, it's impressive as hell. You know, what he's done is amazing. You know, one thing I've learned being in the NFL is it really doesn't matter where you get drafted. You know, I've seen first-round picks who don't end up well, and you see a guy like Brock, you see guys who are undrafted who turn out to be, you know, all pros and Hall of Famers, and so nothing matters. I think when you get drafted, your past doesn't matter. And if there's one thing when you look at Brock's career, even in college, when you look at, I think I saw a video of his coach on senior day the other day and how he impacted that organization. That's just not a special player, that's a special person. And I think in the NFL, when you have someone like that who has the right mindset coming in, who's humble, who's hungry, who has that chip on his shoulder, they have a massive advantage because he's had to scratch and claw for everything he's ever had. And if you have that going into the league, I think that's a massive advantage and something that, you know, a lot of people who might be first rounders or top draft picks, you see a little bit of complacency sometimes, and Brock doesn't have any of that, and he still carries that same chip, still has that same attitude, and just a hell of a player.
All right, meanwhile, two great tight ends going to be focused on in this game. George Kittle of San Francisco and Travis Kelce. And George Kittle was asked about handling the media attention.
He's playing in the Super Bowl, and, you know, I think at one point in the season, he was like, I'm not having a good season. Oh, watch the tape. He's having a good season. Anytime... And, you know, while it might seem to all of us it could be a distraction, it might not be to him. You know, I think Travis is a mature man. He knows how to handle his business. And I think he puts football over everything. So I think you could just tell, hey, he's playing in the Super Bowl. He obviously knows how to handle anything going on off the field.
Can you imagine being in that position?
No, I can't grasp my head around it. I can't wait. At some point in the offseason, I'll probably have to grab a beer and talk to him about it. Can I say that? I think so. I'm 30.
What else is going on, Angel?
Well, it's interesting, you know, you bring up the Christian McCaffrey clips up there because when we had Jake Plummer on, he talked about his playing days, and he remembers when Christian McCaffrey was so small that he just feels, you know, kind of like honored that he saw his career, you know, completely develop, and now that he's going to be in the big game.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is amazing. And, you know, Patrick Mahomes kind of similar. When he was younger, his dad's a professional baseball player. He was around the environment of professional athletes for most of his life. So, you know, it does help. I think there's definitely an influence there, no doubt about it. Moving on to Kansas City, head coach Andy Reid of the Chiefs discusses how he always had belief in his guys.
You guys had your chairman and CEO, Clark Hunt, go on Good Morning Football this morning, and he talked about how he had some conversations with you this season. You said, we're just a play or two away from turning this thing around, and he singled you out as kind of being the most optimistic, the most bullish on this group. What did you see in this group that made you so confident?
Yeah, well, I felt that way. We had some drops, and that's really where it was related. And we were getting better, but we were a play away. And for that catch, and it seemed like it came down to that catch 3 or 4 games. And it was, in some cases, it was guys that I'd seen make the play before. That weren't doing it at that particular time, but I know they had the potential to make it. So those guys ended up picking it up, doing well here, this stretch here. And then we had a young guy, Rice, who Rasheed's game was getting better every week. And that's such a key ingredient when you have a Kelce on the other side, that inside slot receiver. And so he kept getting better and better and better as we went along. And then he started making the play. And so he had that group of receivers making the play, and then Rasheed picking things up as a rookie rapidly. So it all worked out well.
Also, Andy Reid on the talent of Patrick Mahomes.
Spags and I have been around a long time. We're not getting younger, but we've seen a lot of quarterbacks kind of come and go, and he's a heck of a player. And you're right. I've been fortunate to have some to have some great ones. Spag's been on a couple of those teams where they just you've had these great guys that could play the game, see the game, and it's just special. It passed right up there at the top of that list.
Meanwhile, Patrick Mahomes, Chiefs quarterback, believes the Chiefs will lose the game if they can't match the 49ers' intensity.
As a team, having facing San Francisco years ago, what is the big quality to overcome this time?
I think it's just their intensity. I mean, they play hard every single play. They bring energy, and we know it's to take our best football. And so for us, we just have to come in with that intensity to go out there and play our best. And if we don't, we'll lose the game.
Meanwhile, Patrick Mahomes says he wants to be a coach someday.
Hey, Patrick. Coach Reid's coaching tree, well known. A lot of his coaches are former players that used to play for him. Who do you think on your team would make a good coach down the road? And would you think would you yourself make a good coach, you think, down the road?
I would hope so. I try to help out all the young guys that are around the organization now. I've kind of become the old guy, even though I still feel young. So I would hope I'd make a good coach. The hours would be tough, but I think eventually Jerick McKinnon would be a great coach because he knows everything. Him and guys like Blake Bell that have been in the league for a while, different systems, and bring energy every single day. I think those guys could be coaches if they want to be. But for now, let's let them keep playing with us.
And again, thanks to Chiefs.com and NFLnetwork.com for a lot of this sound. We'll hear from Travis Kelce and some other players and coaches as well in just a little bit. Do want to take another quick break here, Miss Robin, if that's all right. But if you want to wait, don't.
Now, before we go on a quick break here.
Yeah. Thoughts on all this, Angel?
So you got Pat Mahomes, which I believe he could end up being a good coach because obviously he studies. Him and Andy Reid have become super close, just like you had Tom Brady and Belichick. So for me, I think you make a great transition. But Pete, asking you this question though, let's just say hypothetically, Pat Mahomes wins 5 early in his career. Right? He's already won what, 2? So he wins another 3. He gets 5 in total. Does he then at that point walk away and decide, you know what, all right, it's time to start my coaching career? Because he'll still be young.
Everybody's different. There were many times I thought Tom Brady would possibly walk away. I mean, you never know the mentality. You have guys that call it quits after 10 years. I mean, you look at Barry Sanders,
Right.
10 years, done. Don't want to do it anymore. Done. Jim Brown. He only played 10 years as well. I think everybody has a different mentality of how, I'm not sure. I can't get into his head. So depending on how beat up his body feels, I think in the NFL especially, the average career is 3 years. We always remember, the Patrick, we always remember the stars, but you forget when you take into the larger picture and you look at everybody, even the last 50 years who's ever played the game, the average career is 3 years.
Yeah.
And running back, it used to be that way for running backs. Now it's for everybody, because we only remember the stars. We don't remember the guys that make it. Maybe they have half a season or something. They actually make it 2 years, they're done. We just remember the star players or the players that are really, really good. We never remember the guy that's made that 3rd and 4th string for many, many, many years or just as a special teams player, and that's gone after 2 or 3 years. So I don't know. I hope he plays as long as he can. I'm sure he's going to try to. If they win this week, I think this, obviously then he's going to try for Brady's record. But all right, 352-234-8669. That is the number to call. It's myself. I am Pete Sheppard along with Angel Martinez from Martinez and Company. Miss Robin is in the house as well. Tony Bruno is wandering around. Field Yates still going to join me soon. Rick Horrow, sports business guru, popping by as well, along with Brian Bruno and Rick Calhoun from Naples Wealth Planning. We'll be back after this quick break. It is the Tony Bruno Sports Network. We are live from Radio Row here at the Mandalay Bay Convention Center. We're back after this.
There's only one real place for total sports. That's the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
So bright. Did we get hitched last night? Dressed up like Elvis. Why am I wearing your class ring? Don't call your mother, 'cause now we're partners in crime. Don't nothing Vegas. It's what you get, baby. Shake the glitter. Shake, shake, shake the glitter. Give me some cash out, baby. Give me some cash out, baby.
Now back to the biggest sports network on the planet, the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
And welcome back here. It's Sheppard, Angel Martinez on the Tony Bruno Sports Network. We are live here at Mandalay Bay Convention Center as we get ready for Super Bowl 58. That's LVIII. So I say to Tony Bruno, our captain, aye, sir, aye, yes. Swap the deck. San Fran -2. The total is still 47.5. Has not budged. The line has gone from -2 to -1.5. It really has not budged at all. So I've never seen the total not budge in a Super Bowl. And maybe it does by Sunday. Maybe some whale comes in and puts 500 grand on the over. But the total has not moved from 47.5 from when it came out last week. All right, we have some texts at 352-234-8669, and you said Robin said that I'm being dissed.
You are being dissed.
By whom?
By the fabulous AJ in San Antonio.
Oh.
First he says, I'm going to go out on a limb. Dean, Ruth, and Mantle probably played a few games drunk. Back to you. But
Yes.
here's the one that is dissing you. He says, did Angel Martinez get demoted? He's working with Pete this morning. My thoughts and prayers to his family.
No, that really hurts. You know, that bruises me on. That's not funny. No, I love working with this. This is great. I'm glad we all get to somewhat work together. I got to work a little bit with Dave Benz yesterday, and you know, that's been great. Well, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to expose everybody on this network that's ever growing so everybody can be one big happy familia.
Well, who thought too, Pete, you really look at it, that you have a Philly guy, Boston guy, and how many times have you seen that, even in the radio broadcast industry, that you have two, basically, because everybody knows like the Northeast is like that superpower. Oh, you guys from up north, you get either fast or one thing or another, but I've been enjoying it. I've been having fun with you because I only get to listen to you, obviously, when I'm home in the Tampa studios, and obviously I'm at work. But now it's fun because I get to work next to you, so it's a good, good time for me.
You want to touch me, don't you?
I sure do.
Ooh, kinky. 352-234-8669. I'm going to touch you. 352-234-8669. You can call or text. Again, waiting for Field Yates. He's supposed to be coming by. I'm looking for the best coiffed hair in the room, as you know. Field Yates, born in Hawaii, by the way. And then now obviously does a great job at ESPN.
You know who I miss? And I always forget her name, from Jacksonville.
Oh, Mia O'Brien?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah. And she knows the deal. I didn't schedule any guests.
Right.
Field is the only one because he's here, because things have been so crazy this week. So we'll get back next week to more hockey talk and Florida Everblades and more NBA. And now the trading deadline. Is the trading deadline today?
It's getting there because I just got a text from Rick Marcus in Tampa, and he was talking about the Sixers are getting ready to make some moves, apparently.
Yeah, I think they're going to go after, it was a Drummond, I think a center they're looking for. They got to do something with Embiid out. They just have to hang around and then, just get into the playoffs. So once that happens, I think they have the potential to make a serious run. I still think the Celtics are creme de la creme above everybody else. But nevertheless, it's never easy. It's never easy, but once Embiid gets back, 76er fans, just hang in there. It's tough. They got blasted last night at home by Golden State, as you said. And they got to find it. Maxey can't put up 51. The first game Embiid was out, Maxey puts up 51, and they surprised everybody and win. But it has been real good since then. 352-234-8669. Let's continue. Travis Kelce is excited to go up against the San Francisco defense, Angel.
Greenlaw's he's a dog, man. He's unbelievable. Every single time we play against him,
He gets me.
That's can't even hear that. I don't know what's going on. Oh, was it part of? Okay, let's try that again. Travis Kelce excited going back to San Francisco defense.
He was so excited we couldn't hear him.
There we go.
Just that matchup and thoughts overall.
Greenlaw's he's a dog, man. He's unbelievable. Every single time we play against him, he gets me quite a bit of times, and I know I'm definitely going to be put in some situations for some one-on-one matchups against him, the biggest thing is that their entire defense they're a smart defense. They understand what the possibilities are and kind of how you want to attack them. And with that being said, man, it's going to take a lot of good hard work this week to get the timing down and get the alertness down for everybody so that we're all on the same page.
Meanwhile, Travis Kelce, Angel, talked about doing a podcast with his brother.
Travis, did you imagine the podcast would take off like it did? And do you imagine it might be something you rely on after football?
I never thought that would be the retirement plan. I always thought that everybody looked at me and my brother like we were polar opposites. And you probably still do to an extent, but Jason is I don't think people knew enough about my brother, so I wanted to definitely, just have if I was ever going to do a podcast, it was going to be with him. I never knew it would get to this point. I had no idea that people would just jump on, my brother's storytelling and how funny he is and everything, so it's been so much fun seeing everybody accept not only our brotherhood for what it is, but see him take off in his own right with his documentary and the podcast and everything. It's just been awesome to see.
Chiefs.com with the credit there. Meanwhile, over on 810 WHB, Willie Gay, outstanding linebacker for the Kansas City Chiefs, cherished the accomplishment of being to 3 Super Bowls in 4 years.
Yeah, this is coming. After that, we got some breaking news.
Oh, let's go to breaking news now. Wow, this is Yeah, let's go to breaking news now. Well, hang on, let me get my little trouble alert sounder from the Super Friends. Nobody has this. No one would dare to do it. Breaking news. All right, Angel, let me have it.
So we got Dean from Clearwater and Rick Marcus also let me know that Buddy Hield, if I'm saying it correctly, is being traded to the 76ers for Marcus Morris, Furkan Korkmaz, and 3 second-round picks.
Well, they had to do something. They had to do something, even though it seems like Joel Embiid. This internet is really slow today here.
Sure
I don't know why. All of a sudden, it's become Molasses City here. Trying to figure out, that's a good move for the Sixers. They had to do something to try to stay the course for Joel Embiid for the next month while he recovers from that meniscus injury. This is unbelievable. This is real. I don't know what's happened to the whole.
No, this whole today.
This whole thing has gone.
It's going to ride.
It's gone to shit for some reason.
But thanks to Dean and Clearwater and obviously to Rick for the updates. Appreciate you guys.
Yep, no question about it. Let's see. All right.
I'm going to check.
Miss Robin's going to check. Yep, I did check, but you check again. Sometimes you have the magic touch that I do not have.
You are on SB.
Yeah. Yeah, for some reason. Okay, I think it's going to do this from time to time. Let me try playing that sound again, see if this happens. Willie Gay, linebacker for the Chiefs. Let's see if we can get this going. No. Nope. It is very slow right now. I can tell because my Twitter is circling and circling and circling.
It might have to be one of those, probably the mobile hotspot from the phone. That might be even faster. For those who are wondering, the Phillies, Frank Close, good friend of mine, covers the Phillies a lot. He put out there on X, Twitter, I still call it Twitter, screw X. The Phillies, of course, truck is on the move coming down to Clearwater, so it'll be arriving probably by tomorrow, I would think, at least in the early morning.
Yep, good stuff. Still trying to punch up to get all the specifics from the stories that Buddy Hield is going to. All right, here we go. So the 76ers again, as Angel just said, landing sharpshooter Buddy Hield from the Indiana Pacers, from Marcus Morris.
As it refreshed.
Furkan Korkmaz, and three second-round picks. The deal pulled off hours ahead of today's. Yeah, this is the NBA trade deadline at 3 o'clock today Eastern time, which means 6. No,
it's 10:46. Yeah, so they're
3 o'clock Eastern time.
5 hours left,
and so that's noon our time.
Yep,
noon Pacific time. Again, I was under the impression there would be no math. Philadelphia needs improving on its existing strengths. 76ers have had the best three-point percentage this season, and now add one of the 50 players in the league history to shoot better than 40% from deep. So that's big. That's big. So there it is. That is the big trade of the day. Again, the 76ers get Buddy Hield from the Indiana Pacers for Marcus Morris, Furkan Korkmaz, and the 3 second-round picks. So they're really going for it.
Yeah.
They're really going for it. They're a little bit desperate, which I understand. But it's a good deal anyway. Even if Embiid was healthy, it's a good deal. 352-234. All right, everything seems to be back. 352-234. 8669-352-234. Tony, all right, let's try this again. I think we are finally back and reconnected. Here's Willie Gay, linebacker for the Kansas City Chiefs. Well, I thought we were back, Angel.
Or not.
Oh, hang on. It's getting there. Processing. Processing.
I'm very blessed and thankful, because in reality, you hate to think of it this way, but I might not never make it this far again, and to be able to say I did it 3 times is definitely a great feeling. So I'm going to cherish it because, like I say, you never know when it'll come around again.
The great Steve Spagnuolo, one of the best, arguably the best defensive coordinator of the game, talked about Brock Purdy and defending that 49ers offense. Processing. I
mean, I keep coming back to the number of weapons that they have and the fact that not being in the NFC, we don't get to see their offense a lot, but how impressed I am with the quarterback. And everything people are saying about him is true. And even more than what people are saying. I think this guy's got a lot of talent. He's a better athlete than I knew, because I didn't know enough about him. So now we got to be concerned with a quarterback that can run. But that offense functions real efficiently with a lot of weapons.
How comfortable are you right now with what you guys have ready for him?
Well, I mean, listen, we did the bulk of it last week, and we're comfortable with it. We need to refine it a little bit. I think you're always looking for something that might give you a little bit of an edge, and yet it's going to come back to the basic things. How fast we play, how well we tackle, and if mentally, we keep the mental errors to a minimum.
I think that the best of the business, and we talked yesterday with Mr. Lang about the defense that he put up against the Patriots back in the day in the 2007 perfected season until the very end. So I think he's a big time factor, Steve Spagnuolo, and the way he schemes an overused term, but not in this case. Right. It's going to be really interesting. He's going to come up with looks that San Fran has not seen. I have no doubt about it.
Now, I don't think so either. I mean, you're going to have to change it up because everybody's seen what KC's done throughout the year. And if you look back at the playoffs, with KC being in there, one thing about Andy Reid's always been very smart of having cards still left in the deck as they go into the postseason, because he will pull out some things that will make you really scratch your head. But Steve Spagnuolo, the great mindset that he is, I'd not be surprised.
No, not at all. Meanwhile, stuff that's really relevant, but it's good to hear Jim Nantz. Again, the other stuff was from A10 WHB. Jim Nantz on whether the coverage of Taylor Swift, he talks about it. This is on the Dan Patrick Show yesterday. Processing.
Do you want me to try playing it from here?
No, that's all right. Processing.
All right, so the production meeting.
Yes.
How much say do you have in how often you're going to show Taylor Swift?
0. I react. I don't tell Mike Arnold, our director, how to do his job.
But how often, how much is too much and how much is not enough, in your opinion?
It's all
for Super Bowl.
Listen, it's all about instincts. The way I call it, the way he directs it, Mike, it's got to be a feel thing. Kelsey makes a big play, he's going to cut to her for a second or two. that doesn't mean it needs commentary with that shot. It just kind of blends in with the replay and another crowd shot. But I've never said on the cough switch, hey, give me a shot of Taylor right now. And there's been this uproar about how much we're showing her, and I don't get it. I mean, at the AFC Championship game, Travis had a huge part in her win, and they cut to her a number of times, but in the end, someone did this study on it. It was 44 seconds is how long she was on our 3-hour and 15-minute broadcast. So he has great judgment, our director. And so does Jim Rickoff, of course, our producer. They'll figure it out. There's not a single word said about, we're going to show her here, here, and here. And I probably 99% of the time, because I've had 8 games with her present, I don't even reference the fact, well, there's Taylor. Tony's had a few times where he's jokingly said, well, there's his wife.
I know.
So I said, what? Not yet. Yeah, you know something we don't know, but it's all part of the shtick.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I think Jim's wrong, because what my understanding was, they only showed her like 27 seconds the last time, and they showed crab cakes and a lot of other things like 40-something seconds. But anyway, I got no problem with it. It is what it is. I think it's so overblown. I don't know how you feel about it.
I mean, listen, Taylor Swift, I don't know the lady personally, but I can't say anything bad about her either, because she is the only major talent artist out there that not only makes sure that people used to come to her house, she used to take care of her fans, the bonus checks that she was passing out to everybody who worked for her. I mean, who else gives away 6 figures from the money that they're making to make sure that she's taking care of her crew?
Yeah. No, it is. It's an excellent boy. And I know it's fast anyway. I read up. And again, it's not her fault that she doesn't hold a sign up that says, please, whatever network I'm on, show me.
Right.
It's not her fault. But I do think it's interesting how she works out on a treadmill and goes through her entire, 2.5 hour / 3 hour performance, singing her songs, or sort of, while she's on the treadmill. That's how great a shape she's in. That's what she needs to do it. I seriously could not sit here and name one of her songs. If you played it, I would probably know. But I can't see. I can honestly tell you, I don't know. And I'd say the same thing about Britney Spears. Besides "Oops, I Did It Again."
Yeah.
I couldn't name another one of her songs. I mean, I if you played a tune, I would probably say, "Oh yeah, I know that one." But I don't know. I don't have time to pay attention to a lot of pop music anymore. New pop music, I just don't. That's why I mean. I'm old school classic rock and 80s and 90s stuff. That's what I like. Not that some of this music today isn't good. I'm not the get off my lawn type of guy.
Right.
Well, I'm halfway get off my lawn.
I was gonna say you're a little bit get off my lawn.
Well, it's just because most music today sucks. It does. And the best music by the new musicians is when they cover other songs. It's almost like Hollywood. They're so unoriginal.
I think that a lot of the problem is there's so much auto-tuning. And it all starts to sound the same when you're doing it that way, rather than, because there's a lot of these singers who have fantastic voices. You don't need to auto-tune them. You don't need to have all this electronic stuff that's changing the way it sounds and making it sound like everything else. And that's when the rare musician who comes out nowadays that truly is doing their own voice and they're it's like that's not the norm anymore. And then everybody's like, oh, they're so fantastic. Yeah, because they're doing real music.
You were an actress, right? You were in were you ever on Broadway or off Broadway or anything like that?
Yeah.
Okay. What was your first time you made, even if it was in elementary school, as a reason? When's the first time you performed in front of a group? By the way, I just restarted my computer, so let's see what. You were in any way, shape, or form. Did you play any instrument? Did you play any instruments as well in front of anybody?
Yes, I did.
You did?
I played the glockenspiel and the little wooden flute, the recorder.
Really?
Oh yeah.
What's the glockenspiel again?
It's the little tiny, the glockenspiel. It's like a xylophone, but a little mini one.
Oh yes, okay, yeah. Okay, so tell me about the first time you performed in front of an audience.
I have never been shy, though. Like, I've never had any problem being in front of people. My mom tells of me, like, I would just spontaneously, wherever, if I could find an audience, I would perform.
Yeah.
So even like at 3-4 years, I don't really remember there being that one moment where I was just like, oh my God, I'm going on stage.
But did you perform in front of, like a play in elementary school or something at first? I mean, what was that like? I mean, that must.
I think I vaguely remember like an actual performance where there's other people along with me. I remember like kindergarten going up. It was like one of the Christmas shows, and I think I played a star. I was like a little star angel.
A star, like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star?
Something like that.
I'm going to say, while yours might be quicker now.
But you asked this for a reason.
Yeah, well, I asked because I remember because I know you're an entertainer and everything. I remember the first time I did something. I played. We had a 6th grade variety show. I had never played in front of anybody except my parents and my teacher. I'm 11 years old. Fifth grade, 6th grade. And I practiced. I knew the music by heart. I think it was by Sheppard. It was called Lilac Time Serenade. I knew the whole piece by heart. It wasn't that. It was like a 2-minute piece. It wasn't like I had to do it 3 times, once an hour, because we did this variety show for once an hour. And the piano was a pretty old school piano. It wasn't a baby grand or anything like that. It's in a classroom where about 25 kids back in the old desks and everything that came up in there. And then there's a piano. We were in the music room. The kids were doing comedy bits and dance routines back then and everything else. So then it's my turn, and I'm shitting my pants. I'm like, Then I started to do, count to 10. Because I was pretty good in front of people. I could handle myself, but, I had a lot of friends. Sit down, start. It's going fantastic. I'm not even looking. I have like my eyes closed. I'm really getting into it. It was called, I believe, Lilac Time Serenade. That was that I had practiced. I want to say Schubert or Bach wrote it. I can't remember. But I thought it was a nice little piece for 2 minutes and whatever. And I'm playing Robin and Angel. And all of a sudden, my thumb, hits middle C, which is a very important piece on the piano, because middle C is the key to everything. And it was yes. Oh my God. Now I have not heard this in years. Oh my God. Yeah. So, oh my God. I'm getting goosebumps. Seriously, I'm getting goosebumps when you're playing that. And then I started to almost cry. So I'm playing, it's going great, just like this. And I can tell you, right there. No, not there. Hang on. It's coming right. There's a little crescendo coming up. 3, 2. Hang on, it's coming. I know exactly when this happened. That right there. Okay, right there. My right hand is on middle C and doing the chord on my left hand. Middle C pops off the keyboard and flip and hits
actual,
me.
The ivory
comes off the piano and hits me in the head. Hits me in the head, and thankfully the kids that were there didn't really laugh because it messed me up, obviously. And now I'm trying. It's like now immediately I'm thinking, can I do this an octave low? Which screws up the whole song. You couldn't do it. But anyway, I got through it. They actually stood up. And clapped for me, and then they went out and got another piano and brought it in because somebody else was playing as well. I was just the first one on the piano, otherwise. But like this means anything here, but I don't know why, but I have not heard that song since I don't know,
probably
40 years.
Avoided it. You had scarred you for life.
But can you imagine sitting here first audience in middle C, which is a very important piece on the keyboard, flips up and hits me in the head.
God.
And it hurt.
Don't you wish now, after all these years that it's over, that they had video back then so that you could have actually, your parents would have captured it?
I might be a millionaire because that would have gone viral.
It would have gone viral.
I could have been on,
you could have
Stupid Petrix or Letterman or something like that. I don't know, something. This is ridiculous.
No, well, when you mentioned that, so the only times that I remember were things that went wrong. Like I don't remember the great stuff. I remember, feeling great about the applause and things like that. But I remember one show that I was in. I was doing I think it was a Noel Coward or something,
Mm-hmm.
and I got up on stage and I'm in the middle of it. I mean, everything's great. And suddenly my brain went blank. I could not have told you my next line to save my life. I'm like, I didn't even remember what scene we were in. It just complete and utter blank. And I remember, and I'm very fair. So if I get embarrassed, I get red in the face. I get very flushed.
Yep.
And I felt my face just starting to glow. And I'm looking around and I'm panicked. I'm looking at the off stage, and I'm by myself on stage.
And no one's there to feed you in line.
Nobody's there.
Nobody
And
backstage.
And finally, I forget exactly what I said, but I said something like really stupid as like, do I hear the phone? And then I walk off stage. I'm like, help me. And then somebody fed me the line and I went back on. But oh God, I will remember that moment forever. Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. 352-234-8666. Angel, you have any embarrassing moments playing the violin? I found that out yesterday.
Yeah.
Were you ever any crazy stuff happen to you in front of people?
No, thankfully, I guess not, only because I didn't. I played in front of my class. Actually, my mom came for the one performance because you do your classmates first, and then you do the parents. Thankfully, when I went to school, you didn't have the whole thing where the kids were making fun of you. They were pretty much orderly, and they would sit down. But I do remember when I did start off, you see in the movies where you hear that screeching sound when they go across the keys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's how I started mine. And then, Mr. Woodstock told me, said, it's okay.
Mr. Woodstock.
Start over. That. And he just made me calm down and then go. And then I started playing after that. I think if I would have thought about it all the way through, I would have screwed myself so bad. But after it was all said and done, I went away. And when I went to the back, because, again, I was a sensitive dude when I was growing up, I ended up crying for no just particular reason.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's tough. It's tough, back then. What's up, Pep? What's up, boys?
Pete, let us go to a top of the hour break.
Yes, absolutely.
And then we can hopefully fix your computer.
Yeah, I think it's done. I think I fixed it. Phil Yates hopefully going to jump it. Yes.
I'm going to play something. The fabulous Dean in Clearwater sent this when we were talking about Xanadu.
Oh boy.
Should
I play? I have a bunch of Xanadu stuff.
I didn't even know
songs.
this. This is back from I don't know what this is, but he said that Wonder Woman. You mentioned Wonder Woman. Did a song with Kiss.
Which Wonder Woman? You're talking about Linda Carter? Linda Carter did a song with Kiss?
Yes.
I'm a big Kiss
fan.
fan.
I'm going to play this. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can actually even put this on video for those of you to see. Yes, I can. Oh, look at me. Just being all techno. Okay, here we go. Ready?
Yeah. This is going into the break?
Yep.
Okay.
Why is it not playing?
Linda Carter with Kiss.
Is it playing? Oh.
No.
Here, let me, hold on, back up. She has a great voice.
Okay, I've never heard this. I know the song. It's obviously a cover.
Oh, you should see the video. This is her singing.
What's she wearing?
Right now she's wearing a fur coat.
Oh.
I heard this song before, but I never knew her. Wow.
Well, let's play this going out to the break, shall we?
Absolutely. All right, it's the Tony Bruno Sports Network Best Of. Everybody is here on Radio Row, Mandalay Bay Convention Center. We're back after this.
You're listening to Tony Bruno Sports Network. Tony didn't invent sports radio. He perfected it.
Oh, now she's wearing something fantastic.
See it in your eyes.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been waiting, and now it's here. TBSN, the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
Make some noise!
The Tony Bruno Sports Network. Download the app, tell your friends, the game is on. TBSN.
And we are back here on Radio Row. We're in Vegas, in case you didn't know, broadcasting live at the Tony Bruno Sports Network at the Mandalay Bay Convention Center. I am here. I am Pete Sheppard. Angel Martinez have sent me an angel, and Martinez and companies here. Also, Miss Robin is here. Tony Bruno in the house as well. I got to punch up my phone system here. Hang on.
Actually, I just want to remind people that we are, when we don't have active guests on the screen with us right now, we absolutely welcome your phone calls, and you can give us a call at 352-234-8669. That's 352-234-TONY.
Absolutely, and we welcome, we'd love to hear from you guys. Give us your predictions, your thoughts, your prayers, your hopes, your dreams. Had a couple of crazy dreams last night. And it was about waking. You get that radio, you get that anxiety about you're going to oversleep, And I really haven't. It never happens. But I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning thinking it was like 8 o'clock in the morning.
But have you guys ever had that dream where you feel like you're just falling?
Oh God,
and never stops.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
No question about it.
And then they tell you that if you die in your sleep, you die. Wasn't there a movie about that?
I think so.
Well, there was. What was the movie where that everybody was put to death? Put the doctors with Kiefer Sutherland. Remember that? What was it called? They put everybody died on purpose and or on the precipice of dying. See where they're going in the aftermath, and they see the light and everything else. All that stuff. Again, 352-234-8669. It is the NBA trading deadline today. We're going to get a call from Miss Marie. Miss Marie is apparently going to call in. I hope she does. She's an absolute riot. There's some other news going on in the NBA, NFL first. Wisconsin coach Luke Fickell telling ESPN he hopes his best friend and former teammate Mike Vrabel can be around Wisconsin this year in an informal role. He'll invite him up to observe part of spring practice and go from there. I think that's great. NBA stuff, because the deadline is at 3 p.m. today. The Utah Jazz finalizing a trade to send Kelly Olynyk and guard Ochai Agbaji to the Toronto Raptors for Kyra Lewis and Otto Porter and a 2024 first-round pick. 76ers, another deal, trading Daniel House and a 2024 second-round pick via the Knicks to the Pistons. Oklahoma City Thunder finalizing a trade to send guard Trey Mann and forward Davis Bertrands to Charlotte for Gordon Hayward. That's a good pickup for OKC as well. So there you have it. There's your latest up-to-date headlines as we prepare for Super Bowl 58. Angel, got anything else?
From the Bucks report, these guys do an amazing job. They're over on my sports radio side, but it looks like it sounds like Baker Mayfield is coming back, which people were talking about when Dave Canales became the Carolina coach, that maybe he ended up taking Baker Mayfield because he resurrected his career.
Yeah.
So it looks like the Bucks are all in when it comes to Baker Mayfield, which is a good thing.
Excellent. The Commanders, by the way, expected to hire former Philadelphia Eagles offensive coordinator Brian Johnson to a prominent offensive staff role. He guided Philly's offense last year and interviewed for several head coaching jobs in the cycle. Let's see. What else happened? Anything else going on? Any other notifications? See in the NFL from Adam Schefter and. Nope. Still waiting word. Hopefully Phil Yates will join me because I am going to be off at 9 o'clock and Phil. I just text Phil, so hopefully he's going to come by. He's got obviously TV. He's doing radio hits as well across his network, but he promised me he would get up here, so I hope he does. 352-234-8669. Yes.
I screwed up because I thought I forgot. So John Foley's reporting that the actual Phillies truck isn't left yet. It just arrived at Citizens Bank Park, and then it's leaving on the 14th. As the Fanatic here is celebrating on NBC 10 back home back in Philly.
Is there anything more useless than truck day in Major League Baseball leading to spring training? Yeah. I mean, this year, when I tell you at Fenway for years, you'd have massive media. You know how many people showed up the other day when they came down to Fort, when the truck was leaving with all that crap? I want to steal the bubble gum. But there was like one reporter there.
That's it?
Yeah. One reporter.
By the way, why don't they have Big League Chew? I understand they use the older version, obviously the smaller piece of gum. I would request Big League Chew.
Too expensive. Yeah, I used to love Big League Chew. I never liked chewing tobacco ever. But I think do they even make it? Do they make Big League Chew?
They still make it
for it's shredded bubble gum.
Yeah, you get it from Five Below though. It's the only
Five Below. Okay, yeah. Love Five Below.
Yeah, Five Below is the only place. It has a bunch of the retro.
Oh yeah.
Candies.
I get all the Christmas candy and Halloween candy from there. Can't beat it.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of those like fake chewing tobacco gum and the cigarette gum or chocolate that they don't make anymore because they don't want kids to associate chewing tobacco.
Remember candy cigarettes back in the day?
Cigarettes,
cigarettes in a box, and
And you pretend. But yeah, they don't make them. The only pretend cigarettes that they now make are for stage purposes. Have you seen those?
I have no, I have not seen them.
Yeah, so for non-smokers, and they also frown upon actually utilizing real cigarettes, flammable items on stage when there's a lot of things that can go up in flame.
Yeah.
And they make fake cigarettes that when you, instead of sucking on it, you blow. So you have to look like you're sucking when you're actually blowing, and then it has a little poof of smoke that comes out, so it looks like it's actually on flame.
So it goes from sucks to blow?
Yes, it does.
Wow, kinky. Did you ever get caught smoking? Did you ever get caught smoking? And remember, I mean, back in the 70s and 80s, it was a big deal to get caught smoking. And in my high school at Bishop Hendricken, we had a smoking area. For seniors.
Really?
Yes, they had a smoking area for seniors.
Wow.
They really treated us like adults. Like we had a separate campus my senior year. It was unbelievable.
Wow.
And everybody, we had 2 hours off in the middle of the day. You could pick an hour and 45 minutes off. You could reschedule your classes. So if you wanted to end classes at noon and go home, you could. Or you want to take 2 hours off in the middle of the day, whatever it was. You were free to leave campus and go to Burger King. That was a big thing. Leave at lunch, go to Burger King and McDonald's and everything else. Come on back. Well, go ahead, Anisha. Yeah.
The one thing I want to break into here, as I'm looking at Tony Bruno to the right of us, the great thing is about Tony was in the chair. Of course, he came in a little bit later on into the broadcast, and he's sitting here with us, right? And then Tony's like a switch. I think Miss Robin had made a perfect analogy of him like a couple weeks ago. Tony can sit there, and he's focused, he's doing what he's doing. The minute he goes on a broadcast, it's that Tony Bruno switch that comes on. It's the best thing ever. Yep. So for those who don't get a chance to see it, he's so if you guys are looking at us on the camera, he's to your left, our right. But Tony's great though because it's a switch, and then as soon as he's done, he comes right back down.
He can be dead on his feet, and you click the microphone. You say microphone's on, you're hot, and boom. He's like an Energizer bunny.
That's it. More NBA stuff. The Washington Wizards are nearing a deal to send Daniel Gafford to the Dallas Mavericks for Richaun Holmes in a draft compensation. So getting back, so did you ever get caught? You guys, parents ever catch you smoking cigarettes?
Yeah, I went through a weird phase because I hated cigarette smoke when I was young. The smell of it, I hated it. My dad was a smoker. I despised it. And then when I was, after I graduated high school, I went back to Europe to visit all my friends
Mm-hmm.
and family, and everybody was smoking, and I felt so out of place because all of a sudden I did not want to be associated with being this American girl now that going back to the Netherlands, and so I wanted to really ensconce myself, and I started smoking, but I started smoking what's the Cardinal.
Marlboro?
No. Clove cigarettes, because it didn't smell as bad, and I loved them. I loved them, and then until I met Tony, I would sneak them every now and then because I didn't want them around my kids. So over the years, I wasn't a heavy smoker, but every now and especially if I was out at a party or drink some, I wanted those clove cigarettes, and I loved them.
No, the only.
But did you get caught by your parents? So you weren't smoking at a young. You didn't try. You never tried it.
No, because
how about you, Angel? Yeah.
No, for me, it was never about cigarettes. The problem was, so when we lived up in Springfield, Massachusetts, I decided to go up there for high school because Philly high schools were an absolute joke.
Yeah.
So.
I didn't know that. You went to Springfield, Mass?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, graduated from Putnam Technical Vocational High School.
Okay. I know. That's
But I ended up, so I was, a friend of mine gave me I think it was Penthouse. He gave me a Penthouse magazine. He said, take a look at this. Again, you're a nerd. You don't know anything about that. In high school, I wasn't about women whatsoever because I was focused upon what I had to do. So I looked like, wow, this is great. Well, I ended up taking it to the bathroom, not to do the business with the magazine, just put it out there. But I went because I'm looking at the magazine like, wow, these are like really gorgeous women. Why I forget and leave it on the top of the toilet tank.
Oh, geez.
So go take a shower, go on about my day. I come back and I thought, wait, I left the magazine there. So I go back to the bathroom and I thought, oh, man, Mom must have got it. Nope, there's my sister. She goes, are you missing something? I'm like, oh, come on.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Which I think is worse than Mom finding it.
Yeah. Really interesting stuff. 352-234-8669. Yes, Ms. Robin?
I did get caught, though. I got caught by my children.
But that's different.
Oh, no, it's not. Oh, my. I felt the worst. So cigarettes, I mean, I've always said cigarettes are bad. We don't have nobody. Well, here I was sneaking clove cigarettes behind my kids' back. I didn't want them to find out that I was smoking. They caught me. My daughter was maybe 3 or 4 years old at the time. She and Christian found me like out back behind the house trying to sneak one time. And she started crying because she was absolutely convinced I was going to die.
Oh, boy.
And so because it was, and so she started crying. And she said, Mommy, why are you smoking? Oh, God, it was the worst thing ever.
Yeah, my parents smoked occasionally. My mom smoked more than my dad, Marlboro Lights. But I remember, I'll never forget it, like it was yesterday. It was Christmas time. The one cartoon I really don't like is Little Drummer Boy. I really don't care for it, or the song for that matter. But anyway, I had kind of an earache. It's Christmas time, and I'm 9 years old. This is 1976. I'm 9. My sister's 8. And my dad comes down, and I'm literally just lying, no pill. I'm just lying on the couch, stretched out, chilling, with my little mini earache. My dad comes down, white as a ghost. So he just sits down on the couch next to me, and I said, Dad, what happened? Your mother and I are devastated. I'm like, did somebody die? How's Grandma? We caught your sister smoking one of your mother's cigarettes with Jeannie. I won't say her last name, but and
you're afraid of outing a 10-year-old.
I fell off the couch laughing so hard. And he starts yelling, "It's not funny!" And when you think of the grand scheme of things now, I mean, we got in trouble. I did get in trouble once playing with matches. We got caught playing with matches. We were burning everything. I remember the Kentucky Fried Chicken bucket. We were putting stuff in it and burning anything else, and we got caught. Anyway,
I was a little pyromaniac.
My mother took us up to the master bedroom, both me and my sister. Shut the lights off. Took one of her hair ribbons out, and about 4 feet in front of us, took it and burned it. Right in front of us, it said, "This could be both of you." Going up in flames, and no one would know about it. So don't you ever play with matches like that again. And no, she was right. I mean, we weren't just it was mini Pfizer's, but
yeah.
we were, you're a kid, you're pyramid. I mean, I used to burn ants with magnifying glasses and make Lego houses and put bugs in it and burn, not serious, not good bugs like ladybugs, but with ants and stuff. And anyway, that's back again. Another tangent. Getting caught with cigarettes. I didn't smoke. My sister got away with everything. I took the heat for everything.
Now, is she older or younger than you?
Yeah, you're younger. She took the car out when she was 14.
Oh, I stole the car.
In our townhouse complex where everybody can see. She didn't make the turn right initially, scraped the tire.
How old was she?
14. But she was straight A student. I played sports and was a C+ student. So it was, she got away with it. So she got caught with cigarettes. She got caught smoking pot later on with stuff on her sweatshirt, all that crap. And she hated me because you're just a goody-goody. You're goody-goody. Mom and Dad like you more because you're just goody-goody. I go, no, I'm not anything stupid. You think because your name's in paper, baseball. I'm like, you get straight A's. I go, I would trade my sports brain for your grades any day of the week and twice on Sunday. Now you're a fucking idiot anyway. All right, I'm not going to speak to you for 3 years. How about that?
Oh, kids' dynamics.
Another breaking news for NBA. The Pistons are trading Bojan Bogdanovic to the Knicks as well. Sourcing telling Woj, Evan Fournier and Malachi Flynn will go to Detroit. How about that? So the full trade, another one, Pistons receive Quentin Grimes, Evan Fournier, Malachi Flynn, 2 future first-round picks. The Knicks get Alec Burks and Bojan Bogdanovic. There you go. And during Super Bowl week, this is the breaking news that we have going on. 352-234-8669. I want to hear some predictions. I'm ready. Tomorrow I'll make my official pick, but I told you I have teased Kansas City 6-point teaser +8 and over 41.5. That's what I'm going with. Prop bets. I love what we were talking about yesterday. Pacheco over 67.5 yards, and I love the other prop bet too, as well. Scantes, what's his name? Valdez getting over 22.5 yards. I love that play. Love it. 352-234-8669. That is how you can call or text. Computer's running smooth again right now. Here's we broadcast live here at the Mandalay Bay Convention Center. And everybody's going to be here. LFG is going to start up right at 9 o'clock today. Then Tony's going to be on. Angel, you're going to be, I don't know what your schedule's like. You're going to be floating around, bouncing around. I'll be here for a little bit. Then I'm going to bug out for a little bit. And then I'll probably be back for a little bit and all that stuff. And hopefully, Bill Yates will make it here before I go. So let me ask you, Angel, what anything in particular in this game you're looking forward to, any matchup or anything that sticks out at you that you're going to be fascinated to see what happens?
Other than some crazy Andy Reid trick play but again, he doesn't pull out really a whole lot. He doesn't, but at the right time he pulls it out. He changed it out. We know that obviously with the NFL, it's more of a passing league, and I think we had talked about it yesterday a little bit. I personally, I would like to see a running matchup between both of these teams because both teams have decent running backs. I won't say they're the greatest, but I would like to see more. Well,
McCaffrey's pretty great.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Minus him, but I'm talking about if you take away McCaffrey, as far as the backup, what they end up having.
Yeah.
But I would like
Elijah
to see more
Mitchell and then Jordan Mason. Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to see more of the matchup running game because Christian McCaffrey, we already know here's a question then. Will Christian McCaffrey have over 110 yards? I'll go past the 100-yard mark in this game.
I would maybe take that if you amend it and make it all purpose. If you're catching and running, I would do that. If he's got 110 yards rushing, I would probably say the 49ers are going to win the game. Unless they completely shut down everybody else.
Right.
But see, that's the thing to me. I think if you shut down Christian McCaffrey or make him average, I think the Kansas City Chiefs have a great shot to win this game. But as we were talking about yesterday, there's a lot of other weapons here that Kansas City has not seen. Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle. They can run the ball. Obviously, they're going to be able to run the ball. It's going to be a fascinating game. You would say on paper, looking at it on paper, the 49ers have more quote-unquote playmakers than the Chiefs.
Correct.
But just because it looks that way on paper, it doesn't, a lot of times, does not transcend to the playoffs. I mean, some guy like Justin Watson maybe could come up out of nowhere for some reason. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, too. We know about Rice. Pacheco has got potential. And then Travis Kelce. Who gets stopped? Who has the worst game, quote-unquote worst game? Travis Kelce or Christian McCaffrey? I think whichever one of those guys has a better game, that team will win. And right now I'm leaning towards Kansas City because I really hate going against Patrick Mahomes.
Listen, you can't argue on that fact because Patrick Mahomes, I mean, you don't get here again without being the greatness that you are from Patrick Mahomes. So I'm going to say he's not, obviously the best. People have asked him, what would it mean to you if you're going to win this game? We've heard that over and over again. Some people say that he's going to be kind of like way out there in the stratosphere where he's going to be the best quarterback ever. It would be extremely tough if it comes to fruition. And obviously he has a great game, great passing game. He not much of a running quarterback, but when he needs to scramble, he will. I think if San Fran, if they allow him to scramble, that's going to be a big to-do here coming up when we talk about it on Monday after the fact. But to me, Travis Kelce, still a bit banged up. Obviously, he's going to be feeling healthy. I would think so, rightfully so, because it is a big game. You don't want to lose that one for any reason whatsoever. But Travis Kelce, if healthy enough, if he can get 50 yards, maybe before, 10 minutes going into the second quarter, then you're looking about Kansas City to really start to kind of run away with it because we know if Travis Kelce starts getting to that halfway to 100 early on into the second, we've seen what Kansas City has been able to do. And no different when it comes to Christian McCaffrey. I think the only thing that we've seen from San Fran this season is even if they played catch-up coming from behind, which they were doing with the Eagles, Kyle Shanahan's gotten better and better as the season progressed.
Great stuff. Meanwhile, got a funny little story regarding the Super Bowl and Nickelodeon as soon as it loads up. Great points, Angel, no question about it. I think I quite frankly going to be stunned if this is a game that's over 7 points. I think somewhere between 3 and 7 points in this game. I will be surprised if this is a blowout by any way, shape, or form. I mean, I've been surprised before in games, but the last several years, it's been pretty close. So I'm expecting more of the same with these two teams. I think the biggest thing you have to prepare for, and people forget it, and I've said this every year for many years, you have to prep yourself mentally and physically for the half-hour halftime show.
Yeah.
And a lot of times these guys practicing this week, the coaches, they'll go hard. They'll go hard for 20 minutes to a half an hour and then stop and then make them go take a half-hour break to get them used to it, then come back and play hard again. It's a difficult thing. I think it's one of the most difficult things to prepare for, if you ask anybody who's played in the Super Bowl, is to prepare for halftime, especially for rookies.
Yeah. Well, I think last year, too, the effect that ended up taking on the Eagles, I think the Eagles kind of led that foot off the gas when they went into the half because it's such a long halftime break. I don't think you really need it in the NFL, at least for the big game. I don't think so. But then again, I understand all the money that's pumped into it, and I could be absolutely wrong. But I know the one I want to take away from, probably one of the better ones ever that we've seen in our lifetime, was Prince in Miami under the rain. That was probably one of the better halftime shows that we've seen in God knows how long.
I mean, it was honestly as if God helped out because the fact that it was raining and it was that huge stage and the water and the lighting.
Purple rain,
and
like you brought it up, yes. It was
amazing.
Surreal.
It was. I wish I'd been there. I was not there in person. I only saw it on TV, but I remember just looking at it, just thinking that was the most amazing concert, as short as it was, ever.
Yeah, I should have been there in person, but
do you guys remember from
an 18-point lead to Indianapolis in the second half? Yeah.
Do you guys remember when the big talk wasn't because obviously one was the performance, but remember the white silk screen that he had dropped down and it was raining, And when the way he positioned the guitar, people took that one shot and said, look, it looks like an overgrown penis coming out of there because of the way the guitar was.
I don't remember that.
Out of everything that went on, that's what you guys want to talk about.
Want to take another quick break, final break here, and then I'm going to reset and come back and tell you about Nickelodeon's set for unique SpongeBob SquarePants themed Super Bowl 58 broadcast. Tell you about that when we come back. Phil Yates is tied up right now. We might get to have him on maybe a little bit later or later on this afternoon. He's doing a whole bunch of stuff here. He's going to try to make it down, but I don't know if it's going to happen today. Anyway, it's Pete Sheppard, Angel Martinez, Miss Robin here. Tony Bruno is making the rounds, going on people's shows and everything else. I am here, Angel, Miss Robin, Mandalay Bay Convention Center, broadcasting live on Radio Row as we prepare for Super Bowl 58, Kansas City and the San Francisco 49ers. Back right after this.
There's only one real place for total sports. That's the Tony Bruno Sports Network. Now back to the biggest sports network on the planet, the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
And welcome back. It's the final segment. Well, maybe not. Whatever. It's one big show here in the Tony Bruno Sports Network. And yes, the games people played. Big game coming up. I can say Super Bowl without getting fined, I think. Super Bowl 58. KC versus San Francisco. This is an awesome song. Alan Parsons Project. Underrated band, baby. Underrated. Games people play. Crank this, Robin, for a second, will you? I love this. Games people play, Robin, in the middle of the night.
I like those games.
Yes, you do.
I want to play.
I want to play a game. All right, 352-234-8669. I see that that's the number to call or text. And Dean in Clearwater has been on hold.
Yes.
And wants to chime in. Dean, how are you, sir?
Oh, hold on a second. There you go.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Dean. Hello, Dean.
Dean. Hello? Yeah, there you are. There you are.
You are on. We can hear you now.
Awesome. At the odds of being admonished and scolded by Bruno, because the last time I called into Angel's show, the first time, because Angel got in touch with me and said, hey, can you come on my show and break down the New England Patriots? And I said, sure. So I did, and afterwards Angel said, fantastic job. So said, great job. But the next day and that night, Bruno called me and ripped me a new asshole for calling somebody else's show. And the next day on his show, he did it. So at the chances of getting ripped again, I'm going to call anyway. I think you guys are doing a fantastic job. Pete, now I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So the Super Bowl, right? We're in Vegas. Everybody's making a big deal, but you've been to like 7. Tony's been to like 40.
Yeah.
Does it really matter where the Super Bowl is being held? Because,
Yes.
You're at Radio Row every year, right? And you're there, right? So they're holding events no matter what city it's in, and people are going to go party here or party there. So does it really matter what city it is? I mean, people are making a big deal. It's in Vegas.
Well, no, that's okay. I have no problem in Vegas. The way that they have no water availability for the media is a little different. No, but I'll tell you what. Look, the only city that I had a bad experience in that will never have a Super Bowl again was Jacksonville. I told you the reasons over the years. They were not ready. You got 5 years to prepare for a Super Bowl. No doubt that New Orleans will be ready next year. So I've never had a problem anywhere else, including Vegas. The only place that really was unprepared was Jacksonville. It was a disgrace what happened over there. The people were very friendly, very nice. It had nothing to do with them for whatever reason. I mean, I'm telling you, they ran out of food. And restaurants ran out of food. They were only half-staffed because they just weren't prepared. They ran out of booze, Dean. Restaurants were running out of booze. There were no cabs.
That's an outrage.
People were living off of cruise ships because they just weren't ready.
No hotels, right?
Yep, it was insane. People were very nice, and but it just was a horrible experience. Overall, I'm glad my Patriots won that game. And I told you, we were up in section 312, way up. The Eagles women took over both bathrooms. There was a coup that involved a lot of puke and a lot of stuff coming out of toilets, literally coming down the steps of section 312. I am not kidding.
Nice.
Anyway,
yeah.
Enjoy that with your breakfast or lunch.
Yeah, right. So has anybody from the crew gotten drunk enough and puked yet?
No, I don't get drunk and puke. I mean, I get heavily
Everybody's
buzzed.
being good little soldiers. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're not going to be on any,
Well, I have not kept track of everybody, but I think most everybody that I've been talking to, we're all so tired by the end of the day that people are just like, yeah, we're just going to go back to our
I've been in bed by 9.
Yeah.
9 o'clock I've been in bed by 9 o'clock. Usually I watch a show on my phone or on my laptop before I go to bed, and I'm like out by 9:30.
Now, we are invited.
This is different tonight, though.
The show, the TBSN has been invited to a special party tonight that is being hosted by Michael Irvin and Bonnie Jo Laughlin. And I thought it started at 7. I just saw the tickets. It starts at 9.
Oh.
I
9 o'clock,
know.
that's probably
9
not going to.
p.m.
That's probably not going to work for me. That's probably not going to work. Probably not going to work for you. I'll hang out in the sports book with my boys and just. Yeah, 9 o'clock's a little too.
Well, no, you guys, like I said, it is a long day, Robin, like you said, because you guys, your whole crew, I mean, just around the clock has been amazing. I mean, obviously, you know, you're all excited about this, and Tony's, you know, the king is. I don't know who came up with the idea of everybody, you know, just intermingling shows. I mean, it's been a great format for what you guys have been doing for this week. I mean, you know, obviously you like the normal, you know, Pete, you in the morning with all your stuff and your laugh tracks and all, and you do a great job. And, you know, but I think you guys are doing a fantastic job with this. I just want to call and tell you, I'll give you all props and keep up the good work, guys.
Well, Dean, I don't want to take the credit for it, but I am. It was my brilliantness, Miss Robin.
Absolutely. No, it's a great idea because it's great. It exposes everybody to a lot of day parts. And we used to do this in Boston, too, with all our hosts would get together on the Saturday before the Super Bowl, and we'd mix and match and do 2 hours. Everybody worked with somebody for 2 hours. I think it's a great idea. This is how everybody gets exposed to all different day parts. It's great.
Well, yeah, it is, guys. Anyway, listen, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you're coming up on the end of the break. Keep up the great work, guys, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right, Dean. Thanks. Fantastic. Dean in Clearwater, always one of our best texters and callers. And
we had a conversation the first day he called, then we had a conversation after the show. Dean he's so much fun to talk to. Obviously our stock guru, he gave out a couple of stocks. Was that Monday? I think when he did it.
But
Monday or Tuesday, one of those 2 days. But he's so much fun. And then we talked about when you guys are coming down for what is it, May, I think, for one of the plays?
Yes, we are going to go see the Book of Mormon.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to drag Tony kicking and screaming, and I can guarantee you at the Book of Mormon.
Oh, yeah. When is it? We're here?
No, it's in Tampa.
Oh.
And we're going to go see it. We're dragging Tony kicking and screaming, and I guarantee you at the end of Book of Mormon, he's going to say, wow, that was a really good show. That was funny. That was awesome.
Well, great. We're going to see, I think we're going to Billy Joel and Sting, one night only in Tampa. Next month, I think.
I want to go see that too.
Billy Joel's got a new song out.
He does?
Yes.
I have to find it.
Yep.
The funny part was that when I was saying to Dean, I said, oh, well, since they're coming down, they can stay back at the house again. And Dean says, no, I have a wine cellar. I'm like, all right, you got me beat. We don't have a wine cellar. Okay, Dean, they can stay at your place.
So there's a teaser. It's called Turn the Lights Back On. Is that his new song?
I believe so, yeah. It's sort of a ballad type of thing. Yeah, we can play some of it if you want. Yeah.
Is he making all new music?
Well, yeah, it's his first song in a while. I remember when he semi-retired and he was doing instrumentals.
Oh, he just released it actually 5 days ago.
On the piano and tell everybody. And the funny thing, one of the funniest stories from that is
James Lipton.
James Lipton, yes, James Lipton, who had the cue cards and everything else. One of the funniest segments I remember is when, you know, the song "Honesty." So he's talking. So nobody knew he was about to do this. He gets through the first stanza and everything else, and then. Where I belong, side of me. And it took people like 30 seconds to get it.
To realize that it was not the right lyrics.
It's obviously.
and then what's the song actually called? It New York State of Mind?
Yeah, New York State of Mind, yeah.
He talks about how he came up with it. And because there's such a...
I love that
pretty
song.
much 2 songs.
It really is.
It's really 2 totally different songs. Somehow he makes them work together.
He does, and then
Brilliant.
Scenes from an Italian restaurant. It just I remember one of the
That's
second
the one.
or third
That's the one
time.
I'm thinking. Scenes from Italian
Yeah,
restaurant.
because it's Brenda Rooney. But I remember at the end at the Providence Civic Center, he closed with that and then did an encore and everything else, and it was like because Rhode Island, Massachusetts, big Italian population, and this gigantic light, unbelievable lights of red, white, and green. The Italian flag came up while he was
cool.
doing it. It was just
My biggest
unbelievable.
regret ever is not going to go see Billy Joel and Elton John together.
I saw them together in
Did
Foxborough.
you?
Yes.
Was it the
yes.
most amazing concert ever?
Unbelievable. I've seen them both 11 times.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember. I know she's listening, but I always embarrass her with this. Lady Elaine, Rhett Mohegan's son. This was the last time I saw Elton John, the 11th time, and had some connections. So we were like in the 6th row, 7th row, something like that, right in the center. And she doesn't usually get excited or stuff like that. She does, she's pretty even key. I mean, she's have a clap and everything. And we had been to a few other concerts together. So we're getting ready, and there's no warm-up act or anything. And just the lights come down, and Elton comes walking out. And she stands up and screams and points, "There he is!"
Isn't it funny when you see somebody?
She hates when I tell that story. And
When
I'm
you
like,
see
"Sit
somebody
down."
totally out of character. That was like my stepmom, Chris, is like the most well put together, calming. She's the calm port in the storm.
Yep.
She just never is unfazed, right?
Look at it. What does that say? From my wife.
Yeah.
What does it say?
Jerk.
So just like Lady Elaine, my dad took my stepmom to go see Kenny Rogers.
Oh.
And my mom, who is just, you never get her. She's never overly excited.
Yep.
Kenny Rogers walked out on stage, and my dad said that she grabbed his upper arm and dug her nails into him. And she's like, "Oh my God, oh my!" And he's like looking at her, going, "Who are you? Who are you?" And then she almost passed out because, unbeknownst to her, my dad had gotten backstage passes so that she could meet him. And she literally almost passed out. She got tongue-tied. She couldn't even speak. And I'm like, that's not what, Chris? No way.
It makes you wonder though, because how many people have we've not seen like the Beatles, Elvis, obviously
Sinatra. Girls went. Frank had a way with. Obviously, all the girls love Frank. Back in the day.
But how they would pass out, they would scream. Now it's
Michael Jackson. I can never see to the point where you pass out. There's a great scene in Family Guy where I forget whoever was playing, and they have the girls in the front, and they get so crazy. Girls are ripping out their eyeballs,
I've never understood that. But maybe it's because I've met a lot of famous people throughout my life that they're just other people. I can't think of anybody that I've just fangirled over so completely. I get excited to meet somebody, but I can talk to them.
The only one I've had that I was, and it has nothing to do with sports. So I was at, there's a Davio's in Philadelphia. Steve DiFilippo owns it. It's a great one in Boston and everything else. So he invited me a special meet and greet with Lydia Bastianich, and famous chef and everything, and I was blown away. I was tongue-tied. My wife was tongue-tied because I respect her so much in cooking. She's so funny, and of course Joe has been on Master Chef, and he's more of a tough kind of a judge. But Lydia she was a real special lady, and enjoyed all her cooking shows and all that stuff. And I remember one of the best things, we had a little questionnaire in the studio audience and everything else, and it wasn't me, but somebody asked her, what is your go-to, don't tell anybody I love this when I'm not cooking or whatever? She goes, Twinkies. Now that's Lydia Bastianich, who loves Twinkies. I thought that was hysterical.
That's so funny.
She's like, that's my vice.
Well, it was kind of one of those surprising things regarding very famous chefs. good friend of ours who's going to
Yeah.
be on the show later today, Chef Andrew Zimmern.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
did I
he's-
see him earlier?
Yeah, you saw him early.
Oh my God,
So
I love
he always
Andrew.
comes on. We've been friends now for years.
He's amazing.
And we
He eats anything.
And he eats anything,
Yes,
right? I
yeah.
mean, he had that show where he ate all sorts of weird stuff. And we asked him, we said, what is the one food? Is there one food that you absolutely despise that you just can't get down? And I'm thinking it's going to be something bizarre, right? Like
Yeah.
monkey brains.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
what-
yeah.
And I said, is it balut, which is a
Yeah,
Filipino
yes.
dish, which is
Yeah.
and he said, no, you're never going to guess what it is. And I was like, what is it? And he goes, oatmeal.
Really?
Oatmeal.
You know,
he
I'm kinda
cannot
wi-
stand oatmeal.
I
out of
can't
all of them.
either, or cream of wheat. I don't know the fascination.
It's so funny.
Go
Out
right
of
here,
all the things
oatmeal,
that
you
he
hear
doesn't
Frost says,
like.
oatmeal. Yeah, that's amazing, though, because
Isn't that
he
funny?
will
Wow.
eat anything. Oh, I wish. What time's he coming on today?
He will be on today at 2:45.
Oh, he's delayed.
Oh, I might have
He'll
to
be
come
back.
back for that. I might have to be back for that. Yes, I would love to talk to him. He's fantastic.
Yeah,
Or-
you should. You should
yeah.
come back for that.
Oh no, I'll be back. I go home, go to the room, drop my stuff off, so I have this bulky stuff carrying later on. But that's awesome. But want to take another quick break, and then we're hanging around until anybody else wants to chime in. It's Pete Sheppard. It's Angel Martinez. Send me an Angel Martinez.
I'm going to continue playing Billy Joel a little bit.
Yes.
Hang on, before we do that, are we going to reset?
Yeah, we should actually.
Yeah. All right.
So we're going to take a slightly longer break
Yes.
so that we can reset everything, and then we'll come back.
So you guys that are watching on the social medias, listening in on the app will continue, but on the social medias, we're going to end it and then restart it. So when you guys, I know you guys all love to see, Pete, Miss Robin, Tony, and when I cut off the feed, you guys wonder what happens. Well, we have to reset everything because we only have so much space and cache. So that's why we stopped and restarted. So it'll restart right after this.
So make sure you find the new feed if you want to continue watching.
Absolutely. We're broadcasting live here at the Tony Bruno Sports Network here at Radio Row at the Mandalay Bay Convention Center. We're back after this break.
You're listening to Tony Bruno Sports Network. Tony didn't invent sports radio, he perfected it.